tidal wave comes at him and he has to reposition very quickly. It's okay versus Rumble because you get the ability to speed up your teammates and enchant them out of the equalizer, but then I guess the Nami dies the equalizer too. You get some fried fish. I don't get the Lucian Nami. Folks, I don't get it. I think LGD come away with a pushing top lane, a pushing bot lane, a Skarner that pairs up very well with all of the lanes. LGD do rely on the Skarner to set up, and that can be quite worrying when Xin Zhao could body block, use the ultimate. And you are against the global of Talia. I think EDG must survive the early lanes. They must get a good trade with Lucian Nami early on, otherwise things get nasty. They get very nasty there, and they can kind of fall out in terms of CS sense, but you know. Alright, let's get into it. Let's get into the game. Okay, this student. Thanks for the resub there, by the way. Appreciate it a lot. Potential level 1. Spotted out. Ward cleared. LGD stacked up a lot of people to clear that ward. They did have a defensive ward. I guess they assumed that... assume. Wait, he's not even playing for EDG anymore. He did play a sweat for them. Sion comes over. Has a strong level 1. Lucian Army also, is the Electrocute Lucian worth noting? So they do have a strong level 1 there. The JDG chant guy has competition with the EDG chant person. I mean, they were really pushing the vocal cords there a little bit. So, good invade going on towards Raptors and Red buff. That's kind of important. Because it means that the Caitlyn Karma don't really want to play lane dominant. ZDZ's doing some weird stuff. Gonna head towards... Surely you don't do anything crazy here. They have barrier and heal. You're not finishing this off. Best you're getting is camp steals, of course. A lot of damage coming down. Q doesn't hit onto the Krubs. Does hit onto both members. EDZ's going very low. Does he have to flash out? I mean... level 3 from the Shin... Oh my god, Shin's out early level damage, by the way. Kind of insane. Teleport now coming in from the Rumble to bot side to stop the early dive. Sion will die on the turret and will go into the passive form. Goes into zombie. Flash out from the Shins out, and the Caitlyn dies. Now, importantly, ZDZ has teleports, Sassy does not, and Xiaoye dies. So the AD carry is not getting farmed. Sion can go back up towards the top side. And we have ourselves Caitlyn now going towards top lane. What the What? Right, we're going to have Caitlyn solo lane for a little while, folks. You have to do this, otherwise someone is losing a ridiculous amount of farm. You have to do this. Otherwise, someone's getting some big issues. Skarner's now cleared through the top side. Gonna go up to, I guess, annoy the Sion. Can't do that much more than that though. CDZ got himself a refillable potion. Not gonna get more than that. Mid lane's not really interacting with anything just yet. So this is a huge thing. EDG, they wanted to get out of the early laning phase. Oh, that's a problem. Yeah, I don't think that hard TC really nasty. Barrier turned around. Sassy goes into the overheat, but loses so much HP. We'll have to back away from the turret. Xin Zhao can just beeline towards the bot side. Bean Zhao. Sassy has flash. Aggro taken by the Nami. Heals up and will live. Doesn't have the flash now, though. Xiao. I mean, he's just going to kill him. He's just going to kill him. How many tower shots do you take? Do you get the kill back? It's close, but no. Cigar sweats a minion for health. I mean, I say for health, it doesn't even do that anymore. Oh, well. So, early game for EDG, looking pretty good right now. Xiao has 2 kills in the early game as a Xin Zhao. I don't get why ZDZ returned, not ZDZ, I don't get why Sassy returns to the tower like that. Yeah, we're back, Ruby, we're back. We're back. Teleport back into the mid lane. Let's be setting up that Q for a bit of a trade. We do have the Caitlyn still solo laning topside. Has the cult. Hang on a second, that's some really delayed audio. What the hell's happened there? few hits. I might have to go refresh the audio again, because, hang on, what's happening? Was it just that observer? No, I'm gonna have to go refresh the audio again real quick. Maybe after we see what Sassy does towards Angel here. It does have the flash, might have to use it. I mean, that's so much damage. Angel flashes out as Sassy on the run. Both these top laners getting creative with things. Dragon's gonna get started. That'll go down fairly quickly. Now, what can Xiaohua do with this early kill lead? Push towards the top side. Dragon will go down just off screen. So are you guys streaming 3 days a week from now? No, this was just a special thing for this week. I say special thing. It's just because we were ill and burned out, basically. We'll see what happens afterwards. We might have to drop some days at some point just because the schedule's been ridiculous. But also, this is potentially something that we really want to put a lot of effort into. I'm just going to go refresh the media source just so we can do that thing where we have better audio. Because it was desynchronized. Again! So sorry for that. It's back now, though. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. Didn't mean to frighten you. ZDZ has... I mean... Sounds pretty hard to kill. But, I mean, not when you get full comboed like that. Flashes and dies anyway. Well, that's your A to ZDZs of how to kill a Zion. God damn. That's, yeah. Good kill combo from the Caitlyn, who's got 2 kills now. Did get the kill on that first dive onto the Sion too. Okay, Karma, we don't see it that much, but when you have so many bot lane bans, it does have some options, doesn't it? That being said, worth noting that between both bot laners, it's not that much of a difference. Now it's going to head up towards the top side. Both teams rushing towards that first tower. Okay, some bonus. How much auto resets has Lucian got left? I think it's just going to be won by Caitlyn because the headshots proc on towers too. Caitlyn Karma take the first tower. On the other side, that'll leave EDG a step behind in the feats of strength. They will still get the gold and the plates. There's no gold advantage towards getting the first turret of the game. What that actually means is that Nio is going to be taking a little bit more gold from the turret itself than Xiaohua is on the bot side, who missed out on that last plate. And the local kill gold for the tower kill. Well on track for Ruinous Atakan? My thoughts exactly. Sion sometimes just ints for the better Atakan, you know? We won't get that in a couple of weeks when they get the patch change through, whenever it comes through. Caitlyn returning towards the bot side of the map now. Only 8 minutes in. We'll get the cannon. Dragon for grubs have been traded, of course, too. I don't think I talked about the grubs before. I'm going towards Essence Reaver first. Because you never really have to worry about mana again. Angel. Ooh, the same on vision there. If you push them too far to shy up, things can go a bit pear-shaped. Really hope they didn't come across on the microphone. Oops. What do I think about the new Atakan? I think it's, it empowers the Paddles, and maybe we'll actually see Paddles be more respected that way. Blue buff, potentially look to be, well, looking for steal here for LGD. Angel has an angle, has the ult. Caitlyn's kind of separated off from the crowd right now. Then again, XQW's doing the same to On. Smite comes through from Niam, so that'll come through. Blue buff steal successful. I'm really curious. The LEC power ranking is on fire. Who are my top 3 LEC teams? Oh god, that's really hard to answer. I mean, G2 looked deeply unserious in a couple of series now, and they look quite bad when their jungle support doesn't get rolling early. Caps is on bad form. I mean, it really depends on what momentum comes out of Madrid too, right? So if MKOI play the way that they do, they're a team that you have to watch. And we were hoping they could be like this, but they didn't show up like that before. ZDZ does have ult now, so we can scream, Feigling! Where is the Feigling? Feigling! That's cowards in German. He screams that as he runs to his death. I feel like G2's not bad, but they don't know how to draft it. They are overcooking. The way that I put it is, you know, they've been in the kitchen, but there's smoke. There's even teams like, yeah, I mean, yeah, there are teams like Vitality, which can punch up pretty well too. I mean, they looked very weird at different points in the series yesterday. Game 1 was fantastic. The other 2 games, very much less so. It's hard to tell. I don't even know who I picked for my top teams within LPL right now. Obviously, Neon's Legend. Hang on a second. Neon jumping forwards. Has that first ult of the game. He wants to use it. Splitting damage across targets. Ult coming through from the Caitlyn. The Karma gets hit by the bubble. Goes for a quick waterboard. And this is where things get really dangerous. First item spike. Don't quite have that. Hang on a second. Xiaohao hopping over the wall. Does have that flash. Both smites come through. So the grub goes the way of LGD. No smite to contest for the second one. Still has that ultimate available. Uses it now. Flick back. Flashed away from YCX. Rumble in a side lane. Has teleport if he wants to join. No smite from Nio. 6EW want to do some damage hit? Nah, just let him have it, I think. Smite comes up from Xiaohao. Is G2 at risk of elimination if they mess up their remaining series? Yeah, they are. They're currently in 6th place, but, you know. We'll see what the other teams do with that. A lot of damage coming onto him. Karma's early damage still brutal at this point. Taking a lot of damage, but does manage to successfully wave clear. 4 growths for Caitlyn means that chip damage onto turrets racks up a little quicker. It's very nasty. 1,000 gold lead in the top lane matchup, by the way. We did say that EDG had the harder composition to play. They came up with an early plan to try and avoid the Caitlyn, but you have given 4 grubs over. And Caitlyn is still a problem. How many series have they got to mess up? Well, they have 2 series left, and they're 3 and 3. If they... Wait, is it 2 and 3? I think maybe they have... No, sorry, they have 3 series left, I think. I think if they mess up 2 series, I think they're out. No, I think they're out of playoffs, yeah. I think if they mess up 2. Although it can get tie-broken still. Top esports, obviously, they just like to throw map... game 1, by the way, we don't say map 1. And win against any team. I mean, top esports are definitely up there, but they also have just such weird inconsistencies that it's hard to kind of pin them down to. It probably is top esports and anyone's legend, and the third and fourth team are just completely in the air for LPL right now. It's not BLG right now. IG also just consistently just weird. They dunk down on lower teams very easily. Top teams they coin flip against. Nio going towards a bit of a run forwards. Oh, catches that wink. Did have the flash. Needs to flash away from the Impale instead. Does so. Loses a bit of HP. Don't know if he expected to get driven around into the wall like that from that angle. Jump force from Xiaohao. Equalizer comes down, but I think all it is going to be doing is equalizing by 0. Actually, that gives you infinite. The other way around. Yeah. It's more of a multiplying by 0. HP goes down there. XQW using those 4 grubs on a side lane. Doesn't have the Nash's Tooth, has the Leandries instead, but still, the AP ratio on towers will help him cut that down a little bit more. EDG kind of behind on the map state right now. They do get the kill. They didn't have the tower push to answer what was happening on this bot side of the map. You're going to get any kind of response towards top side. No, Skarner's not heading up towards that. Demolish from the side. Take down 1 plate. Last 10 seconds before plates fall off. Los Platos. A glorious, wonderful thing. What happened to Climber? Climber got subbed out just before we came into Group Nirvana, I believe. Yeah, Nio came in. I think similar time to Shafan came in to LNG as well. Both of them have been doing very well for both their teams. Oof, turret and the silhouette of the tower. You can do that as Caitlyn. You hide a trap behind the tower itself, the model of it, and it's sometimes hard to make that out. Easy to step on. What's the next important things coming up? Minute on Herald, 2 minutes on Dragon, 5 minutes on Atacon. Got item going on 2 items. Both AD carries feeling pretty happy about things because they've been funneled into the side lane plates. 1,000 gold towards Azir because he got more plates than Angel. He's not really been a part of that equation. Flash out of ICX as the ult came through mid lane. Very powerful point. Did I say assume again? Did I say assume? Because I just keep remembering assume from EDG. Obviously, he's not here. He's now on FPX instead. And it's Arn. And I know that Arn's back, and I know it's Arn and Wing. I just flicked my eyes over and like, it's an A starting AD carry name. Did I say that? I know I've said it once this game. Whatever. You'll just have to come to use... Yep. You'll just have to come grin about it. Arn jumping forwards again. Barrier pop very, very quickly, but the bubble lands. That's pretty big. Means that the push will be blunted somewhat. Redemption used. Powerful item breakpoint. Of course, on the other side, though, the Imperial mandates for Wink. Huge, huge item spike for the Nami. It's one of the biggest reasons why Lucian Nami was so powerful for such a long time. That and also the stuff like the electrocute tech on Nami. You'd managed to proc it onto someone through your AD carry. And the Imperial mandate. 30 seconds till Dragon now. The mid lane tug and pull. Push and pull. That's the one. Tug of war. The tug and pull. Very important to allow you to get towards objectives. Going towards the Herald first, as that spawned before the Dragon. No flash onto YCX could be a problem. No flash on Wink, I guess similarly. And a lot of damage there at an important moment. He now pulls the barrier. And that's an equalizer for Poke. Takes him down to a low half HP. Ult's going to come across. Wall comes across to you. And here comes the Scion. That's a well-coordinated engagement. Will it lead to that much damage? Arn needs to be doing a lot more than he currently is. Angel gets some value there too. The follow-up damage, not that potent. And LGD will walk out losing flashes, but no lives. Herald now spawned, well, summoned now again in mid lane. Very quickly brought out of the eye and back into the mortal realm. Mid lane turret, lots of damage. Demolish goes onto the tower, but has he overstayed for that flash away? Overstayed a little bit for the Demolish, but it does get them the tower. I think EDG will take that. EDG can still recall. Redemption's come back off a cooldown. Fun item, that. Morning, Rosiri. Morning. And thanks to the follows and stuff that have been happening while I've been live. I know it's been a little while since I've been live. I took about 4 days off, I think. Did stream 160 hours this month, though. On. Wave clearing again. Healed up a little bit from the Nami. Has the rapid fire cannon, very big with the Lucian Nami, of course. Allows you to get that hop forwards into that first auto attack with so much random poke chip damage and everything on top of it. Dragon now spawned. No equalizer still. Tidal wave coming up soon. I don't know if that's the target you want to be choosing. That Skarner does not take damage from the Lucian. And that will be a problem. There's no Black Cleaver on your team either yet. Xiaohao might need to go for that, actually. I think he has to. I think you have to go for the Black Cleaver to help Arn kill that target. SQW on the other side. No problems with DPS himself. Down Shaman. Jumping forwards. It's been a while since we've seen that Lucian Nami here in the LPL, or at least I've seen it in the LPL. I know it's been around a little bit. Oh, no, we did see it. Yeah, we saw Lucian Braum. Ult comes through from the Lucian again. A lot of it goes into that Scorpion's hide. Carapace. Chitin soaking the blows well enough. Now he goes forwards again. Has to peel away from that Scion Q. Half HP. Smite fight coming through. Wall. Wave. It's like a sea defense all over again. The equalizer's back up and it's roasting. But it doesn't matter. The Skarner's down. Maybe losing your AD carry matters a little bit more. What about the Dragon? What about the Dragon itself? 2,000 HP. Rumble's down now and there's only one smite. He'll come through and the Scion goes in for an engage afterwards. SQW out of the play. Xiao going forward to more damage. The Caitlyn does not like being out in the front line on her own, though. The Scion passive doing so much damage, and the Angel's still alive. The healing from Xiaohao. Sundered Sky is a hell of an item. EDG get the Dragon and get the fight.
Red team has scored an ace.
So, what happened here? This is after... No, this is after, like, the pusher-pull comes through. The wave, the wall, separation of everyone. The equalizer hits a load of Arn on east to the side, and then Sassy sees the angle. It's a good angle from Sassy. Like, you take down the Lucian, you're happy to trade that after you've already used the equalizer. The problem is the Skarner gets absolutely obliterated. Scion splits the team. Now, what happens with Xiao here? Walks forwards, tries to kill Wink. Has to step forwards onto the... well, out of the Nami Q. The Shadow gets to completely eviscerate. Sundered Sky. Sundered Sky. 300 HP a pop. Gets out alive. Azir saving ult for the next game. It's hard for Azir to get a good shuffle there, I think. Yeah, it's quite hard to get a good shuffle there. Shuffling into... I guess when the Noma tidal wave is easier, but doing into Sion who can body block you. Into the Talir E. It's all a bit problematic, really. I think Shaya should have targeted Shinzao instead of Zombie Sion. In that situation, yeah, I guess. But the Sion does a lot of damage at that point with the auto attacks. Maybe thought he would die if he didn't target the Sion, but he thought that he'd be able to kill both. Jumping forwards again. Rapid Fire Cannon, Imperial Mandate. Looking for the execute course when he can. Good Q back from the Karma. I don't mind seeing this kind of bot lane, folks. I know it's been a while since we saw the Lucian Nami. Really. But I did enjoy watching it, because I think players learned how to play it well. Here in the LPL, they really did. Lucian Nami in the LPL was a very fun lane to watch. It wasn't the same as in LEC or in LCS, where it felt like it didn't really do that much. 0 damage Caitlyn. Well, the intel does... Yeah, the intel picks up a little bit. But yeah, having the Fire Cannon in mid-game doesn't help you the most with it. What Fire Cannon does, and this is why both AD carries have gone for it, is it allows you to get the first auto attack while you're both auto-attacking mid lane onto the enemy champions. So you keep auto-attacking the minions that come up, and then you use your Fire Cannon proc onto the enemy champion a lot easier that way. If you have a Fire Cannon and they don't, you get to get that free poke while you're both push and pulling on the mid wave, and that's a huge difference. That's the way we have it right now. Does mean that your teamfight damage will be lower, but if they didn't have the Fire Cannon, we would be seeing a very different state of affairs through from the mid lane push and pull. Teleport into the mid lane. Angel has that second tier ultimate, has 2 items now. Full... why are we all in this brush? Why is this the place to be? Why is this the place to be? ZDZ ults in. There's a wave coming in through. Zombie Sion will be brought up, but I don't really think there's much to be done about this. Well, welcome to the bush party. Sion's invited. Atacon now started. EDG. They don't have that ultimate from Angel anymore. Do they just let this go down? I guess they do. No big ultimates were used by LGD, and they don't have the Sion anymore. Azir turret was pushing out that bot turret, technically. That being said, EDG will start towards that mid lane instead. We'll push him towards the mid lane in a turret. LGD, though, they do get themselves the Atacon. They'll get themselves the flowers on top of it. Infinity Edge on the way from Shaya now. 1,000 gold behind Arn, though, who has the Infinity Edge already. This is a huge item spike for Arn. Doesn't go for the Flicker Blades, goes for the... I guess the one-tap build for squishies anyway. Doesn't want to be hitting the Skarner, but if he hits anyone else, God, it's a lot of damage. Infinity Edge, Essence Reaver, Fire Cannon. Jumps forwards, gets the Electrocute. Gets the Imperial Mandate from Wink as well. Someone pops. Does it matter who last hits the flowers? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You can see at the top of your screen, just a little towards the center, if you look underneath each of the team names and go inwards a little bit, you'll see that number with the flowers. That's the amount of flowers that each team has, and it applies to each member the same across the team. Dragon started up. Man Dragon is obviously very valuable for both teams. The Skarner and the San both getting good value out of that. Arn push that mid lane. I want to see how much this Lucian can do, and maybe we finally will see a sweep. Very disruptive team fights with the Karma. A lot of damage onto Angel at the start. Okay, San goes in. The Equalizer comes in too. Angel, a lot of damage. It's still burning down. Redemption, and it's the Skarner completely zoned out on that front line. Does get the smite, though, and this time lives long enough to seal the objective. San Q around the corner. Does not catch YCX. XQW. Potential chance for a shuffle forwards. Chooses not to. LGD, much better this time. Great damage coming in onto Angel at the start of that play. Made it harder for Angel to teamfight the way that they normally does in that front to back. Right, so obviously a number of minutes now till Dragon's back. Back again. Tell a friend. Baron's available though. Not sure there's a similar song for that. Sassy 2 items has the tank killing build with the Leandries and the Riftmaker, makes it much easier to kill tanks in side lanes. Now, having a pleasure cruise towards the Raptor Pit. What's one of those memes? Like, imagine drunk driving this thing, and it's just like a random vehicle from a sci-fi thing. Sassy caught out on a side lane. No one's coming to help him. Xiaohu comes through, gets the knockup, and while he has himself the anti-tank killing build, he doesn't have an anti-Shinzao survival system. 3,000 gold up in the jungle, by the way. How the hell am I not talking about more about this guy? Xiaohu, 2 items, has that Black Cleaver. Disgusting damage from that Shinzao. Incredible game from Xiaohu. He was the beneficiary of the early game. Largely done very well in all of the fights so far. 6-0-3. Sion looks like an Eminem fam. They're quite a different bunch of looking people, aren't they? Is there one particular look? Has it changed over the years? Would Sion have starred in 8 Mile? These are the real questions. The things which I'm interested in League of Legends. 140 again. Look at the damage. Shield, well, you know what? Considering it's a 3-level advantage, and is the squishy support, not as much damage as I would have thought. Arn probably does need to go towards, ooh, the Q-tap through the wave. It's getting a lot of good damage here, actually. Push the ult forwards again. Now, again, not under that much threat from the Lucian. Fire cannon strike back. Here comes the equalizer. No, does he want to go for an ultimate? No, and there's a flood. There's a pause. There's a pause. I don't know what it's for. Hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed that. And it looks like we are back into game. Did we actually chrono break? We did. We chrono break. So we're back into it. Thank you everyone for joining me for trivia. That was fun. We should do that again sometime. I hope you enjoyed it. That's a good way to, yeah. That's a good way to do that. Kramer, I haven't heard that name for a long time either. You know, another fun fact, LPL champion Loken went over to the LGL to play for a bit. So I used to cast Loken over there, over on Sengoku Gaming. Okay, so, we don't have the ultimates and stuff coming through into mid lane. EDG back off, and LGD lose their attempts at walking forwards. Oh, my pre-rolls are back on. I'm so sorry, pre-rolls going to be back on for a bit. I don't want to... I should have ran some adverts in that pool show. No, I don't, because the advert, the trivia was fun. And if you have any fun trivia you'd like to tell me, you let me know that too. And if you'd like to drop any trivia in chat, you can also drop it in the Discord too, so I can save for another point. Here come the ultimate straight out of the pause. Azir turret falls down. A fantastic impale though onto 3. Doesn't reach on. And maybe it's less fantastic than I thought. Teleport comes in from Azir, who's too late to the party. Skarner goes down. Dragon's up in a minute. Baron's up. And we come back to a bit of an acceleration from the pause. Great damage back from SQW though. God damn, it's a fed Azir. We don't have the scoreboard at the bottom of the screen up just yet. There we go. Items are back. Nice. So we did have a chrono break. We're back into it. Hey, well, I'm glad you enjoyed the trivia. Always nice to learn a little bit more. We've always got some extra bits to learn as well. Redemption used... That was the enemy redemption to do some damage and check for vision. SQW has to flash out of the shove, but does manage to get some damage back, but doesn't have enough to survive the culling. Arn takes down the Azir. The bird goes down. However, the Baron has been stopped, and both summoners were used by Arn. So LGD stopped that objective going down. Dragon is now available, and maybe they fancy themselves an opportunity at this dragon. That trivia is the only thing we're taking away from this game? Yeah. In LCS and EU LCS for the old Fnatic roster, so has played a ton of support games and made Yellowstar go top on Shen. We also saw Xpeke take Ziggs top lane as well. They role swapped a lot back then in Season 3 particularly. Some in Season 4 too. I've got some fun trivia about the old days. So LGD don't go towards the dragon. I was wondering whether they could find something with Equalizer coming back up on those summoners. Maybe there's an option. Ults onto Angel. Of course, he has no sustain. The one person that... Well, I say that. Nami does, though. Do I know about TSM? Yes, I know about TSM. Rumor was that... Oh, bloody hell, that's a good crit headshot onto Wink. Shy comes through. Angel, not able to get on top of him, but Shy's now out of the fight. Great Crescent Guard. YCS goes down. Impale does come through, but they can't return the favor. One for none. Support goes down. Once again, EDG finding great ways to split the entire team fight. Angel, a very notable Taliyah player over his career. Good wall again from him. And EDG looking quite comfortable playing around the Lucian, Nami, Arn, and Wink. We're a bot lane, I believe, on IG when this bot lane was last kind of popular. They've done their time on this across the LPL. You know, I've seen TSM play live, in fact, I have. I've seen them play, because it was 2015 I saw them in London. I'm trying to remember. I'd love a question, like, who are the one-time champions of the LPL? Ooh, yeah, that'll be a long list, though, is the thing. I can give you some other trivia while we're going through the game. What other trivia have I got? No, I already talk about Lagandia too much. I don't know, which Dota winning organizations have played in the LPL? Because you got Newbie and LGD. Wait, did LGD ever win that? Not sure. BLG playing 2 back-to-back? Looks like. Weird flex? Yeah, a little bit. I also saw the very first Origen team in EU Masters play. So that was obviously after they did their time in LEC. But they brought... That was... I've seen... Let's see. It was Expect, Insect, Froggen, Forgiven Jezzes playing in 2018 EMEA Masters. I saw them play. That was very fun. Very fun event. Tier 2 League of Legends has always been something which I've always been very invested in. You know, I cast the NLC for a while. I've always been a big fan of the Masters. I'm always a big fan of when leagues can bring stuff to a local audience, you know? I think that's what's happened. We've seen with the Roadshow for LEC. We've seen that with Karmi Core in the ERLs. Koi as well, of course, amongst other teams. Baron now a threat here from EDG. Around the corner. Threat of the Taliyah setting up a wall or flicking someone back into the team. What did I think of the IG Weibo Game 3 draft? There have been some very bad LPL drafts recently, which have upset me quite a lot. Not as bad as G2. G2, hang on, the wall comes across. What is Angel doing? He has a Seekers, has to use it there. There is an Impale. The Equalizer is still going to be dropped on his head. And once again, Nio has just been put into the dirt. This Skarner has not been a good front line. EDG, I think they've been using the Lucian Nami very well to say, look, you are going to just have a tidal wave thrown at your backline. And think about it like this, folks. Like, think about it like this. If the tidal wave, like, flings its way into the backline, everyone has to scatter. They can't go and protect the Skarner. The Skarner gets locked in place at that point. And then the Skarner dies very quickly. Baron now started from EDG. CDZ teleporting into the pit so we can get past the enemy team. If Azir gets good DPS, maybe LGD can do something. If he gets a good shuffle, maybe he can do something. Hard to do that against this kind of team, but it's very easy to get damage like that onto Angel. Are we getting a flip? Nope, no smite, of course. Flash out of the flip. EDG, get the Baron, lose no one. Wait, as far as I can tell, Nio is just Nio for Chinese casters, and Cream is Sha Nio. Are you kidding me? Little Nio? Really? What? That's weird. How is LGD losing this game? Because Skarner has been cut down in the front line a million times. Is 4,000 gold down, and he's the only engage for the team. Skarner is 1 engage, and EDG just check him every single fight. Arn now has Lord Dominus Regards. Nio just doesn't get to play the game. Look at this, look at this. He's not going to be able to play the game. Like, he tries to go for the engage. He's the only engage. Gets completely shut down. Once again, the Skarner's died. Couldn't have described it better. Ults come through. SQW does get hit by the damage. Is Angel going to be able to get any more damage over? No. SQW gets out. Does have teleport. Can make his way back into the play. No jungler. No smite for Dragon. Hey, Sam. How's it going? We just had a really long pause and a chrono break. Am I dumb, or did that exact sequence of events happen literally 3 minutes ago? It's happened multiple times this game, and now Xiaohao has a 4,000 gold lead, is 7-0 and 5, and the jungle drift diff is strong with this one. Man, it's the worst Skarner I've seen since Cacao Skarner at 2015 Worlds for Invictus Gaming. Juggernaut Patch Skarner was not strong enough to save that team. Never seen Kadavi play Skarner. He's played it once or twice. Nami R makes it so his team can't follow. Exactly, Halo. Exactly. So what happens is, right? One of the most powerful things we learned about Nami is that if Nami puts a wave down, and I did do the diagram before, but if Nami puts a wave down and someone's stuck in the middle of it, you have two choices. You either sit there and you get knocked up and slowed, or you scatter, or you go back. One thing you can't do is run forwards. You can't do that, which means that the person who's hit with the tidal wave in the front, there's a moment of time where you can just gun them down when no one else can really stop them. So you need to make sure that you're approaching from multiple angles, much like when you're playing against Renata. Renata's another player like that, another champion like that. Did I not see Junja Skarner at Worlds? That was also really bad. However, Cacao lost on like the 97% ban rate Skarner at Worlds 2015. It was pretty bad. It was very, very bad. Arn now has a QSS. He's full build. He has the Mercurial Scimitar. Arn is so fed, man. They have the Man Soul as well. Don't talk about Cacao like that. I hope you're feeling better, by the way, Sam. And yes, Sam. Oh, bloody hell, a lot of damage. Sam turned 30 on Sunday. So happy birthday to Sam, my wonderful brother. I do actually have a trophy coming for him for surviving 30 years of life on planet Earth. Xiaoya caught out. Has to flash, has to 90 caliber net. Tower goes down. Shove forwards onto the Skarner. Does get an impale and manages to reach onto only the Shinzao. Shuffle comes back and he gets a Revenant Shuffle. That is the first Revenant Shuffle I have ever seen in pro play. It gets them a couple of kills. I don't think it's going to get them more than that. But fancy mechanics from XQW. If you have never seen this, if you're not an Azir player, that is what is known as the Revenant Shuffle. You dash towards a soldier, you dash back out of the play, and you bring someone back out with you. Hopefully we'll get a replay of that. It's not going to matter that much. We might see the game ending here anyway. The wave clear quite low now from LGD. They do have the equalizer, so the game should go on for a little longer. The little frog coming out with some big plays. Now it goes forwards. Angel has to get himself into his Zhonya's. A good Q from the sign. Opens up a bit of peel, and that'll allow Angel to turn things back around. Is he going to die anyway? Yes, he is. And LGD, they lose one for the attempt, but they will stop the base from falling. SQW saving as well for what? See, I mean, he hit a great one here. Folks, this is what is known as a Revenant Shuffle. We'll see the initial play coming through, and the tower going down. Shaya ends up escaping by flashing and then using the Night Caliber net. This is so cool. Azir pops into the play after the minefield is down, and he ends up popping someone back in. I have never seen this in pro play. It takes a very specific set of button presses to do. You have to hammer your R key as you're pressing E in front of you, then Q behind you, and you'll just about get it off mid-flight. That's the only way you play this off. That is the only Revenant Shuffle I've ever seen in pro play. Fantastic. Actually, I say that I saw it once in Tier 2 play, Tier 3 even, from Kusai, playing it in the UKEL. That's the only time I've seen it in the LPL. Very, very cool. Yeah, for those of you who've never seen that, I can maybe, you know what? Maybe I can show it to you in practice tool while we're between games. Maybe I can show you that. I can pull it off. Like I know the button presses. Need to make sure you don't want body blocked here. The Sun going forwards again. ZDZ has 1,000,000 HP, 1,000 stacks on the passive. Not that tanky, I suppose, compared to all of them, but tanky enough, and certainly tankier than the Skarner, who once again discovers how mortal they are. That's not the best place to be going golden. Goes in for a shuffle, but caught by a bubble. Glub, glub. The king is dead. And the Emperor's got no clothes. They've been burned off him. EDG takes him a little while, 40 minutes and a pause, but they do end up closing out the game and taking the series to 1-0. Going down into the GA. Towers will go down soon after. EDG, a well-earned victory. Xiaohao, Angel on all incredible standout performances. Good historical Kai'Sa, however, they kind of entered their way down into Group Nirvana with some choice Kai'Sa play versus WE. Monkey got the better of him in that one. They will lock it in. So EDG, good snap engage from the Realm. Realm Warp can make things a bit creative too. And if you get a good kill from that Kai'Sa jumping in, Viego resets, and the game gets interesting. Very interesting. LGD on the other side. I think if they don't give up the first kill, they have better damage. They have better damage and easier ways to get that damage down. We'll see exactly how these teams interact. Anyone else watch SpongeBob? Yeah. Breaking news! RNG and OMG fight for survival! Okay, I'll shut up. Let's get into the Chios. Oh, God. Oh! God damn! That's some vocals right there. RNG used to be good. RNG used to be very good. They used to be very good at League of Legends. And then they weren't. And then they weren't. It's very bad. Anything happening at level 1? So one thing we do have is, let me highlight. I'm going to highlight it for you, aren't I? Great. I'm wonderful. Praise me. Water in the top lane brush, of course, very important when you have champions like the Jace, who likes to dip in and out of... Well, the way you fight the Jace is by dipping in and out of brushes. I just draw something off the side of the screen. That's not very good of me. Oopsies. I have 2 screens now. I need to remember that I have those. I never had 2 screens before. But yeah, that top lane brush can help you achieve lane dominance in range versus melee matchups, particularly. Angel starts with that Rune Prism, gets a little bit of damage in a slow. Doesn't allow a second auto attack to come through. And Lilia's favorite camp in the game is your Raptor camp. Frank loves personal space. Jimmy also loves Frank's personal space. I'm funny, you can laugh now. What a great joke you say. Level 1, going forwards from Sassy. He's that passive. If you want to see very good top lane Wukong play for level 1, go watch the VCS, the Vietnamese scene. Go back and watch some games from a guy called Coated back in 2021 and 2022. Fantastic at the champion. 2020 as well. Level 2 hit. Angel knew that there was going to be someone walking across the river there. So now he's going Raptors to Raptors. Viego has already... I say knew he was going Raptors to Raptors. Xiao has done the same thing though. Went his own blue buff over towards the enemy side of the jungle. Has double buffs now. Taken away the Raptors too. Hasn't taken away the Krubs. Is on vision now. And we'll go over the wall and take those. Yeah, we were just talking about that, Wink. We were just talking about that. It's an absolute tragedy. Way too young. Xiaohao in the lane. Oh, Rune Prism comes through into the Spectral Maw. And that Corgi butt hits the ground. I know they float in water. Let's see if it'll float him down the river Styx nicely. Body picked up by Xiaohao. Could actually Valkyrie over... Yeah, you can Valkyrie over the wall. He Valkyrie over the wall. Very nearly steals the buff there. Creative thinking from Xiaohao to use the Valkyrie in the early levels of the Corki. Now has all of his regular abilities again. Now, he needs to be careful here, actually. Double buff picked up. Now he's gone too far. Now you've gone too far. Sassy's not going to be here in time. He's just... Creative at first, but there is a thin line between creativity and madness, and ZDZ has just given himself over as a freebie to LGD. Oh, my word. ZDZ, you can't be doing that. The top jungle, which have stayed together through RNG, through Weibo, through what have you, come together to int gloriously on the fields of battle. I don't get it. Like, you just had a really good opening with that kill into mid lane. And then, that should have been a great capitalization from Xiaohao. I liked Valkyrie over the wall there. It was good. You do get to jump at the enemy champion. If you time things right, as the Viego, in early levels, before you can get out of a stolen body with your ultimate, so you don't have your level 6, you can wait until the end of the 10-second marker use all of your abilities, change back into Viego, and then use all of your regular Viego abilities. And you can basically get a form change like you would with a Jace. It's incredibly powerful. You don't see it that much. But right there, it could have been clutch. It could have been so crucial. But then it was a huge mistake after, of course. ZDZ not helping at all. And now 1-0-1 for the Viego, for the Wukong, for the Lilia. Throwing that lead right the way back over to LGD. CDZ. Good shot blast on target. Doing okay in the laning phase, I suppose, after giving over that dumb first kill. Warrior tricks to back. Doesn't exactly help out Sassy that much. Sassy has been a good individual laner on the whole. Angel's going to get hit by... It's hit by a Swirl Seed. Special Morb, not going to hit. It's helping even out the lane. Dragon up and available. Hang on a second. Realm Prison available. Rune Prison up. I keep messing them up. Realm Prison? What do you mean? Not an ability. Stupid name. Who would name something a Realm Prison? Ugh. Show herding up towards the Grub's first spawn. Cull picked up for Arn. Arn's Kaiser has been what would I name it? You know, I'd name it a Rune Warp. I think that'd be a much better name. Rune Warp. Ha, we'd call it a Realm Prison. Stupid. Shahar going topside. Sassy going in. Has the Cyclone now and looks to disengage. If on target, the Blade Throwing King. That's a lot of damage. The double Cyclone actually ripping through CDZ that. Sassy's first Cyclone of the game. Saves his life. Also, thanks for the follow. Thanks for the refollow, EDG Wink. Good to see you back. Didn't realize you'd unfollowed. Grub's taken by LGD as Shahar went towards topside. Did I do something wrong? I'm pushing him well in the spot side. Cashing in that cull as we said before. Recalling the bush. Angel doing... Angel is getting to the point of the game where he's going to get pretty scary soon. It's going to get pretty scary. Because you're going to get that, not just the Rune Warp. Best name in the game, you know. You're also going to get, the flash after that for the root in place. So even though you can maybe flash away from the initial ult itself in the rise, I don't think you can do that from the full follow. That's a big problem. Yeah, the Rune Flash. Yeah, the Rune Flash. That's a great name. Much better than a Realm Prison. Stupid, dumbass ability name. So, no trade towards the dragon right now. Decent gold lead for the time. Very good time gold lead for the timestamp for LGD. Of course, need to hold on to it and do something with it. Where is this game won and lost? What does a winning team fight look from LGD? Good sleep. I mean, Wink might go for the... He actually might go for the Mikhail's Rel again. He has done that before. Mikhail's Rel can be very powerful. It can be very important in games like this. You can shrug off a Jin W, Lilting Lullaby. I think it's easier for LGD to find fights. You need Rel Flash, I think, for EDG to feel confident. Hang on a second. SQW. No, the wave's too much. Wave's too much. Hang on. That was, Yeah, anyway. Enough of that. Ooh, jumping forwards. Now he goes into a Cyclone. This is the problem of playing against that Wukong. Get that Crushing Blow again. Remember, every tick of that Cyclone reduces the cooldown of the Crushing Blows. Dragon started. Cyclone down. Sassy can't really impact the game like that now. With that now, rather. Dragon goes over towards EDG. EDG. I think they have more creative options available to them as a team, though. LGD, I think they can start 5v5s a lot easier. You know, a good Rune Warp you know, many great things can change things. Is the W going to land? Nope. Doesn't choose to pull it. Resets came through from LGD. You can look down onto the minimap. Hightailing it towards the bot side of the map. All 5 members piling towards that bot side. Sassy will now teleport top after... Oh, no, rather, XQW do that instead. Collect the wave on top. Plate goes down towards Arn, though, who also has that cold caching in. Is this the kind of game where a Kai'Sa can carry? I mean, there's no game where a Kai'Sa can't carry with the right build. See exactly what build he goes for in this this one. What's my favorite ability name? I used to like Mordekaiser's old ability names because they were named after classic rock songs. You had like Mace of Spades, Children of the Damned, or Children of the Grave. You know, stuff like that. I really liked Hyperkinetic Position Reverser. What else is cool? Mortal Steel for Yone is pretty cool. Spray and Pray is a good one, yeah. Sassy getting a Demolition Tower, get himself a plate back. That's nice. Get himself, again, just a little bit ahead of the curve. Wukong's top lane tends to go towards the Triforce. Triforce is a very good dueling item. And he's going to spot XQW. Damn, Rise do damage. Rise does damage. What other ability names are really good? Death Sentence. That's a nice one to shout out. Shahab. Does he have the E? Ah, that's a lot of damage. Oh my god. Gonna pull out the null from Nymaera? No, remember you can go unstoppable with the ultimate from Viego. Could have disengaged with that. But still, chased out of the river. And you can see the danger of Viego walking up to a fight where he is not supported appropriately. Yes, Yorick used to have the Omens. The Omens is his all 4 abilities. So he used to have the Riders of the Apocalypse, that one. Yep, the 4 Horsemen. 6 grubs claimed from LGD. Now, that's kind of big. That's kind of huge. If you start winning in a side lane now, you get to leapfrog off of that very, very impactfully. The Omen of War, the Omen of Pestilence. Famine. What's the last one? I can't remember the other one. Death, I suppose. Hold on this hard again. Sassy. Recall stopped by a Shock Blast. Don't think Shahak can really force here, though. Especially without the flash. Quite hard to do much about that. Especially with Cyclone up and available, too. Also, these are the double AD threats. And Wukong gets a lot of armor from his passive. A lot. What else is cool? Unstoppable Force, Unstoppable Onslaught. The thing is, I like a lot of the names which I can play with. Because I like making my own twist on them. So like I like Silas being able to steal some big things. It's fun. So I can kind of change the names, the villain's entrance instead of the hero's entrance. You know, small things like that. Super Mega Death Rocket, Mega Infernum Bomb. They're good. Oh, there's the Neela ult as well. Apotheosis. That's cool as hell. That means to become a god, or Apotheosis, to become divine. Plates taken, 6 grubs make it very easy to do this. The cross map is slow from EDG. They're losing plates for nothing right now. Wink has flash. I mean, Arn has cleanse. Hasn't cashed in his cold just yet. Does have the Kraken Slayer. Doesn't have the Q evolve, importantly. Hang on, flanking teleport onto SQW. He does have flash. He has Valkyrie too. Is that going to be enough? He can get over the wall. Hit back though, and the hammer blow will make sure that neither of those can be used appropriately. LGD though, a little bit quicker on the rotation. They move from bot lane up towards mid lane. Can they force onto mid lane turret? No, 30 seconds till dragon. LGD, I thought they should be in a much better position for that, but a good flank teleport from ZDZ. Sees them into a good position. Arn can get himself his cull off of this wave. They can give up the dragon. They have the first one. They don't need the second one if they don't want to. Bullet time's fun too. General, oh, Supreme Display of Talent. Perfect one, for sure. That's great. And of course, the worst ability name in League of Legends is, of course, still the Realm Prison. Who would name an ability like... Definitely someone named like that. Nio, caught up against the wall. Magnet Storm comes in, and that is a very, very dead deer. Oh, Bambi, close your eyes. Dragon started up afterwards. EDG will take that one nice and easily. 2 dragons for them as Naya way overstays. Realm up to check what's happening with Sassy, who does have flash. Alright, okay, guess they didn't think they were going to use that in the next minute or two, so they use it for a free play. Going towards bot lane anyway. Y6 on bot side, hang on. There is no flash in Angel now. However, that knockback ends up putting him out of the soul fair. It won't end up mattering. We'll go down anyway. Triforce spike from Wukong, incredibly powerful. So Angel misreads the map. Y6 gets a good assist there on towards Sassy's Wukong. Jason top lane. Hang on. DD's out of the fog of war right now. Doesn't manage to jump onto XQW from the looks of it. Just a little bit of damage, but not into melee range. A lot of vision control from EDG on the bot side. Ah, what happened here? Wait, did he put the ward down? Wait, did he put the ward down but not in the brush? Oh no, it was his ward. Right. So it's showing that... Wait, AD carries can buy wards too? When did that happen? When did that happen? Huh. Crazy. Witchcraft, I tell you. Witchcraft. Triforce Wukong is very powerful. It is one of the strongest spikes in the game, actually, Triforce. Like, first item Wukong is disgustingly powerful. It's not quite the Sundered Sky of old, which was, oh, goddamn strong. Arn has now got himself Q upgrade. He's cashed in his cult. This Kai'Sa can do some pretty mad things. Still just about even in gold with Shia. A little bit ahead. He's pretty much just a hold the cold gold, actually. Ahead the cold gold. Couple of assists spread between the team. And Naya, that's a problem. He does have flash. I don't think he'll get to use it, though. Center of that W, the watch out Eve. The hammer blade comes through. Use the flash already. And the acceleration gate does some work. Shock blast also puts some damage down. Right, remember, Viego can get some resets. That is the big thing. Is Viego going to get a reset? He's on the wrong side of the fight. And Angel goes down again. The wings torn off. Solar Flare pings onto Wink. And Jace goes down to... Angel with a series of flubs and EDG no resets to speak of. Can't see the team fight out. 5 people strong for LGD on the top side and a Zenith Blade. Catches onto Arn, you'll have to cleanse and ult away. Flash forward from the YCX. We'll force some defensive tools out of Arn. Use that 6 grubs effectively to take down another tower. Take down a tower. It's the first tower of the game. Hey, thanks for saying hey no, see. I hope you enjoyed them. Well, you did enjoy them. You literally just said. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed them. That's the way I phrased that. Herald now started up. Can you really look to do anything here? Wink's coming back onto the board. Nio has flash, has level 11. Level up on Chao Hao. Just the extra stats are nice. Of course, doesn't have the ult, just used it. I need some more fun facts. What other fun facts do I have? You can tell the difference in how modern or ancient a spider species is by the type of pincers it has. If they're like pickaxes going up and down, they're ancient. If they're side to side, they're more modern. I mean, it's a good escape from ZDZ. Teleport location. Not great from Angel, man. I don't know, he just gets separated out very quickly. XQW pounces on the targets very well. Great Solar Flare. And ZDZ, I mean, completely shut down. Hey, Harold, good to see you. Soul Flare again. Realm Warp doing things, bits and pieces, and there's no reset again. The Ignite will take him down. Viego does get an assist, but it's a 1-for-1. Kill over to Angel. Nice golden pocket for him, I suppose, after a couple of failed plays in a row. Harold wasn't taken beforehand. LGD splitting the map a little bit too thinly. Will get themselves the Herald off the back of this, though, all the same. Wait. Maya, my cat is here. You better say hello to her. Hello, Maya the cat. I hope you're doing well. Hey, Maya. You were working with the fuzz. Okay, I hope that the fuzz were accommodating. Fox Overlord. Yeah, that's a hell of a spelling of a name. Okay, so what happened here in this bot side play? This is where the 1-for-1 came out. Good jump out for Xiao Hao. Does land the first two, and they just don't run into YCX again. YCX has been doing a hell of a lot of work just appearing where people don't expect him to. Multiple times now, he's jumped out of bot lane or into this bot side skirmish, and he's gotten some really good value. Y6 might even be my player of the game so far. Great rotation off of the Fog of War. Dragon's now up. Herald used in mid lane. 6 scrubs, of course, to keep pushing too. Xiaohao has the Moss Stomper for the extra shield, which is why he does have the extra shield on his person. It's been helping him a little bit. They don't take down the mid lane turret, but they'll take a good chunk of it. And 6 scrubs means they can finish that off whenever they please, really. Well, whenever then there's a wave available. A full lethality Jhin coming through from Shaya. FYI. Dragon will go down to LGD. EDG not wanting to stick around for that. No cross map available for EDG. They've been slow on their cross maps of EDG. They've been quite slow on them. It's one of the reasons they're in Nirvana team and not up there in Ascend. As we were saying before, one wave is all it takes. Ult comes through. Y6, another good engage from him, and Xiaohao completely caught out. He has had a poor game, has Xiaohao, after a wonderful game 1. Jhin ult comes through in that lethality. Oh, yeah, it's lethal. Angel flashes out. LGD clean snowball from them in this game. Up 3,000 gold, going on 4,000. Cleaning up towers across the map. 6 scrubs being used. They haven't even fallen down to a soul point. And EDG seem bereft of options. You fixed their emails. Nice. Cool. I'm glad, Harold. Did you know when Leona hits Zyra, Zyra gets bigger? Yes, due to photosynthesis. I did know about that. Also, skins with sunglasses used to take 1 less damage from Leona's sunlight passive because they were wearing sunglasses against the sun. It was fun. Yeah, Lilia is a problem. Lilia is now at the big problem point where not only do they do way too much damage, they also have a Seeker, so it's hard to kill them. Sassy is caught out in a side lane, though. He is not the Lilia. He is not necessarily the problem. Loses the flash, loses the ultimate. Glad to get out with his life there, I suppose. Nice takeaway of a resource or 2 by EDG. Did you also know that there was the lore of ninjas applied to League of Legends? It's from old TV shows and kung fu movies. If you face a single ninja on the screen, it's a very powerful ninja. If you face 100 ninjas, then they're not very powerful. So if you had multiple ninjas on the same team, they would do less damage. But if you had 1 ninja on the team, they'd be stronger slightly in terms of like plus 1 AD or minus 1 AD. Great pick from YCX again. YCX has been fantastic. I think this guy has been everywhere he needs to be, hitting the right engages. Yes, dies in this fight, but he does everything he needs to. Oh, just close on the skill shots. Good skill side steps, at least. Fighting the top side, Sassy. No flash, no ultimate. And he goes down very quickly. Didn't even need to use the ult. And now, well, that's a teleport into somewhere. Teleport flash. The SQW comes out. Now, the deer might be a problem. And so could the Jhin, the serial killer. Sets them in their sights. Can they get the cancel on the realm? Oh, they can! Oh, it's another shield of daybreak. YCX cuts off the escape route by stopping the Rise Realm Warp. EDG, good play initially in the top side. Can't lead it through to anything, though. And it's looking more increasingly likely that LGD will walk away into a game 3. Atacon comes down, give him the GA. Bit early to take this, actually. Can they delay it a little bit? I'd like to see it so it overlaps more cleanly with the Baron and the next Dragon spawn. So it doesn't last that long. I suppose it's 2.5 minutes, but they'd have to take these things now on spawn time. I think they could have waited maybe another 10 seconds or so. Didn't really feel like they needed to have everyone there to take it either. Could have burst it down, take it to low HP, wait around a little bit, smite to finish off later. Oh no, did he just hit a swirl seed onto someone else to get that Riftmaker proc? Huge. If you had Surge and Shen and Nurse Akali, oh, hang on. Nurse Doctor skins would nullify that nerf because they're in their, they're in their day job, No, ninjas are like, they moonlight as ninjas. Like, if they're doctors during the day and night, it's just a different role. Are there any other ninjas from Shen Z Akali? Kenan's the other ninja. Kenan is the other ninja. He's part of the same clan. The Kinko Order. YCX on the flank again. And now he can go forwards with even more impunity. 2 levels up on Wink, by the way. He's dropped a lot of XP. 2nd rank of that solar flare. Ambassador's not a ninja. She is from Noxus as well. Arn, hit by a big one. It's a W in return. Wink caught out. I mean, that's not the target you really want to be hitting. They do have the Atacon, though. Flash forwards. Swazi doesn't land for that. Angel will be able to get the Realm Warp out this time. Oh, the 4th shot. Gwyn thought he was safe. Nope. Eyes shut. Both of them this time, not just the one. LGD, very clean snowball. 8,000 gold ahead. Well, 7,000, I guess. Whatever. Round up to 8. I know technically that's not worse, but, you know. This is not going to 40 minutes, folks. Much shorter game. No pause in this game? Nope. I could always think of more trivia for you. Okay, so here's a conundrum for you. Lilia is kind of a centaur, right? But not with a horse, but with a deer. How many rib cages does Lilia have? Do you have a human rib cage? And then like a horse rib cage? Do you have 2? Do you have like 2 sets of organs for them? What is the anatomy? No, that's a bad way to phrase it. Ignore that brief miswording. Just think, how does this work, skeletally speaking? It's strange. It don't be working in the way that many people will be thinking it. YCX loses the celestial opposition, but happy to, again, position aggressively. Lilia coming out of base. Has a Medjai's, by the way, so is even faster than before at 10 stacks. 10% movement speed. On top of the Blooming Blows, move speed coming through as well. It's one long continuous ribcage. Ah, so Lilia is more like a centipede. Right, yeah, they have like connecting body parts like that. Anyway, ICX gets another engage. Very consistent has this player been at finding the right plays. Solar Flare to confirm the kill. You still have... Oh, that's a great center plate again. Forces out the ultimate from the Viego. And the Rise has to pull out the ultimate to save them again. Now, you don't have the Realm Warp. You don't have that Heartbreaker into the pit. And EDG with even less options to contest the Baron. CDZ, 20 seconds for him to come back up. I mean, what do? Do you have to full set? I mean, you are behind a ridiculous amount of gold. You have to find some way to steal it, right? Xiaohao walking up. Another engage comes through. Magnet Storm's not bad, but there is 0 follow-up. That's all. Arn is the only damage. He's being zoned off. Angel is, well, he's seen the full power of the sun. He goes down too. Xiaoya's Jin following up very well onto LGD's pick attempts. Has a full Infinity Edge, by the way. That's why he's hitting like an absolute truck. LG don't even feel like they need to go towards the Baron. Pushing towards that mid lane. Teleport in. CDZ's alive. Oh wait, can they actually finish this? Soul Flare comes through. Double slow, no stuns, but I don't think that's going to matter. No flash from the Jace. And yeah, the man of tomorrow finds his end today. Tower goes down. LGD will bring us to 3 with a very clean set of plays. Maybe a bit of a throw from ZDZ and Xiaohao in the early game. But make no mistake, LGD claimed this victory for themselves. And okay, now Sivir I actually do like. That one I do like. Comes through. Helps you run forward with the rest of your team. Helps Alistair and Ambassador have some more sticking power. Well, these are compositions. LGD on the aggressive side of things. EDG trying to play range and trying to play... Alright, let's get to it. Holy moly. That was much louder. I just hadn't put the volume all the way up yet. It's, yep, that person is very loud. Anything interesting to talk? That's a lot of pings. God damn, the pings do be pinging. So, both of these AD carries are doing pretty much the same thing. They are trying to get their... Well, they're trying to get safe, non-interactive laning phases and try and get their support more active early. Alistair has been very good with stuff like Varus, Ezreal, Jhin because of this. The Sivir, pretty happy in the same way though. We do have a bit of a desync audio. I'm going to have to restart that real quick. 1 second. Do that really quickly. That should hopefully solve our audio issue. Just doing this just because we had a bit of an issue with the audio there. And that's very important we do that right there. This means that we get to see their early invade. We did see the start of it. I'm going forwards to, yeah. Threaten those Qs. Xiaohao gets a first camp steal of the game. That's important. The Braum has a level 1. The Alistair doesn't really. But you're losing. Found a tower now. So you don't lose the XP. Do you lose the gold? Lose 2 minions. 2 melee minions. Get the rest of them. Had to use your support stacks, though. Sometimes it's a bit of an overpush to do this. But still, wave push. Normally you overpush to achieve this. No, the tower shot actually makes things a little bit difficult. Headbutt away. Q missing from Xiaoya. That could be a problem. Shield comes up. YCX and Xiaoya maybe outplaying themselves a little bit. It is the problem where you overpush a wave. And the enemy team gets to use the tower to push things back towards you. You never want your wave to hit the tower early in terms of XP. Mid lane, Charm misses. Early level 3 hit from XCW. Hang on a second, he's into trouble now. Oh, if the second Q hits, that's a problem. Has to flash it. The bleed would have been expunged. And the next one would have been applied. XQW overpushing. So both mid and bot lane from LGD overpushing and getting punished. EDG won draft hard. If they... I actually don't know if I agree. They don't have any engage options. And they don't have a great way to deal with Vi and Best Ahri diving on a target. I think their composition is way more coherent. But as long as LGD get out of this bot lane okay, which they should have been able to with the Civ, but, you know, losing the summon is not the best thing ever. I do think that LGD are much better at clearing out the carries. And Nio has not been able to touch anything, by the way. He has 2 camps. He's down... Oh my god, he's down 3 camps already. That's ridiculous. Nio completely bounced off the map. This is the problem, right? LGD had pushing bot lane and pushing mid lane, but both of them overpushed and then turned things around again. Nio's going to lose the scuttle on the top side. Does he get access to it on the one on the bot side? I don't think so. Struggle street for LGD. Vi won't ever be able to play the game later, as long as you get CC on someone, so the Ambassador and the Vi can ult on top of them. The Civ can like, push you forwards. I think it's fine. Like, Arn only has 1E, 1 flash. When Angel gets himself something like a Seekers, maybe that changes. Maybe that changes for EDG. LGD have a lot of go buttons, EDG don't. Legitimately, their best engage is Renekton flank or Neferi ulting at you. And just like, you know, dashing at you. It's not easy. I think the Neferi is probably going to take over the game at this point. That's a problem. Dark Seal first back from SQW. Doesn't have that flash. He doesn't have flash. It's a bit spooky. A little bit spooky. The spooky, scaring skeletons. This is why I say I don't like Victor match. The Ahri Victor matchup on the Ahri side of it. If I play against an Ahri, I do actually play Victor. I think it's a very good matchup. Until the jungler comes mid and forces a play to get Ahri ahead of the game, Ahri can really struggle. Once you're ahead of the game, sure, you can keep playing. And but your threat is never in the 1v1. Your threat is in the 2v2. Not bad Q there from Xiaoya. The spell shield gives the heal. One of the bigger changes to Sivir, of course, is that the spell shield gives a heal rather than mana back. It's a free cost of that mana still, but yeah. $1,000 gold lead at 6 minutes. That's ridiculous. Spread across all lanes. Cole puts in for Shire's Civet. How much can LGD give up in terms of objectives before this becomes an issue? Dragon started. If Nio can get a dragon, that's huge for LGD. Because it means that you delayed, like, the very bad time. Hang on a second. I don't know if you want to go in for that. Oh, they really feel like it. Braum passes coming through. Heals pulled by both sides. Great damage onto the Ezreal. And the Q comes back. Doesn't flash for the backswing. Damage onto an AD carry is always more important than damage onto a support. When you get a few levels under your belt. It means that if you can take down that AD carry, the support doesn't really have the damage to carry the fight. Dragon not finished. So LGD not able to get that dragon. Talked about it potentially being very important. Saw this kind of matchup yesterday. It works because the Vi can be so aggressive. Yeah, it can be. But now at this point, you can't. In the LPL, Neferi's been very good at just permanently going into the enemy jungle, getting ahead, looking for an early kill. And as soon as Neferi gets an early kill, feels like the game's over. I've seen so many games solo won by Neferi's in LPL. Rob's finished. Vida's trying to recoup some fun. Level 5 to level 6. God, he's level down. No, he just uses Q as well. Sees his red buff getting started. Braum's on the roam. Of course, Braum's so strong in that early lane as well. Nio would have to look for a Smite Steal. Doesn't have a wall to put in the brush. YCX punted out as well. Where does Nio go? Where does he go? He takes his wolves, I guess. But he's scrounging farm. The Ambassadors are losing lane. Mid lane, losing lane. Bot lane, even-ish, but they weren't able to use that to actually do anything because Braum's better on the roam. So even though it's not quote-unquote a losing lane, it's still the same problem of it because they come and make it your problem. Okay, good spell shield. Great damage with the press the attack, actually. Short trade's working out well in their favor there. LGD have got to find a way to hold on. If they hold on, game's huge. Pops the ult. Braum passive being threatened. And another Q hit that would have procced and he would have likely died. The Sivir ult blown for free. I think LGD's level 1 and level 2 planning was very poor. I think they overpushed in that bot lane. They didn't allow a push into a roam into the jungle. I think that Shia and YCX too focused on their lane, potentially. That was a big problem. No, it does have level 6 now. We'll spot out the Neferi in the brush. That's information enough. Xiao Hao. I've always held this guy in high regard. I don't think he's necessarily delivered on that in the last year or two. Sadly. He wasn't the problem when Weibo started last year. But, yeah. Tried his best to land on his feet. He was, of course, an LGD player when I was first casting in the league, 2023. Ooh, ult misses from Sassy. If he'd started a long enough fight, potential of Nio heading towards top lane and ulting in there as well. Garnailing, thank you so much for the resub. SQW gonna get hit by that Cow Storm now. Yeah. Does he have to ult with the charm missing? No, should be fine. Catalyst gives you a little bit more bulk to survive that. So he can recall, teleport back onto the map. The problem is, he's not around to help Nio do anything again. Look at the jungle gap in terms of the farm. Nio is at least on the same level now. That's just because levels take more XP to get between at this point. Who have I got this game? I mean, I still think the competition from LGD is good if they get to a point where they can pull the trigger. I just think that Vi's going to pull the trigger and immediately die, and it won't matter. I mean, EDG don't have go buttons later. It's not the Hextech Rift, at least. It's a second dragon. I do like LGD's comp. It's just how much can they withstand to get to a point where it's activated. I think a EDG win at this point. I think EDG win at this point. It's such a huge early game diff. Ah, he's going to spot out the Neferi again. Has the Q. Get out with the Blast Cone. Does Xiao have follow? Yes, he does. There is a flash available from the Vi, but there's a W from the Neferi. What does Nio do? Q's over the wall. Flash away. Does Nio flash? Yes, he does. How the hell does he get out of this one, though? I mean, spoiler, I don't think he does. W for the extra damage, potentially, and the bleed will kill. Or rather, it won't. Nio has a Q. How much mind games can he do? Not enough. The Hounds find their quarry. Nio goes down. It has been a disaster for Nio. No help from his lanes. In a bad jungle matchup when you fall behind, Xiaohao sinks the Fangs in. Drop's going to get started up, so it's going to be all objectives towards EDG. Good spell shield. Good trade onto Arn somewhere in the middle of that too. There were double ults blown from Xiao and YCX while we were off screen. Well, they were off screen rather. So all 6 grubs taken. Early feats of strength for the objective markers. 3 of them down now. Where can LGD start to fire back? By the way, currently a perfect game. 13 minutes in. No kills, no objectives. No grubs. No grubs at all. No towers either. I doubt it'll stay that way. LGD do have the firepower to take people down. You pull the rods on someone, someone dies. Still. It's not like Ezreal and Victor scale badly, so it's not like it doesn't get easier. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That's definitely a factor. You know, Ezreal and Victor are good late game carries. I will say it's just that EDG don't have a great way to start fights. This bit's fine, because they get to play through lane pressure, get to play through objective timers, that's fine. Braum early game is good at skirmishing. But the later it goes, LGD are the ones that can choose when and where a fight happens. Well, maybe not where, but they can choose when it happens. They pull the trigger. Cull about to be finished by Xiao. That's important. He does have Yuntel already. Can Xiao carry? There's no lock. Okay, this is a thing. This is a thing. Hang on a second. ZDZ. He's level 11. He does have rage. I don't know. He's got the ult. He's gonna double Q. Yeah, that's a Renekton. Heals through it. And that's the first ults of the game from Sassy and Nio. Not doing great deal. Well, not the first ult for Sassy. Not doing great deal. Oh, Xiaohao presses that W for the damage. Forces Sassy away from the tower. Cull completed by Xiao, the sole goal advantage on his team. How much can Xiao do? There's not that much CC for the Sivir. As in, like, it is just Renekton getting onto them. And Renekton hates playing into Sivir. What EDG will want to do eventually is just throw the Neferi at the Sivir or hope that, you know, she's out of position. And just hope you can assassinate. Sivir can win this game alone eventually. Sivir is so ridiculously good into this kind of team with no ability to stop her from auto-attacking. Good, still on track for a perfect game from EDG. No kills, no towers, no objectives for LGD. The whole idea of... Hang on a second, Xiao jumps on. This is exactly what we wanted to see happen. Hang on, Xiao. Press that W. Eventually into the game, that's how EDG might win the game. Jumping onto the Sivir, and she just explodes, really. Herald up and available. Ezreal, good value across... well, I was about to say that. Spell Shield tanks it up for Xiao. It's nice for him. almost towards the flicker blades is Xiaoya. Ari recalling, has teleport, can join topside whenever they want. EDG, this is the kind... Look, they do want to be playing around objectives like this. They do need to get this Herald and to break open the turret. Because even though they do have, you know, 1,000 gold lead, that gold lead actually hasn't changed since 10 minutes ago, 6 minutes into the game. It's not changed that much. Ah, there was ult used by Angel and bot side, that's why they backed off. Herald goes down, claimed. Was there ever a perfect game in the LPL? Yeah, we've had a couple, I think. I think so. Can't remember them, but yeah. Very hard not to have a perfect game at some point throughout all of the history. Sassy, Shahazan, top side of the map, needs to be a little careful. Since Grubs, well, I don't think there's been a perfect game since Grubs at all since Grubs came in. LGD needs to contest something, Vi perma-farming into Oblivion. I actually don't know if I agree. Look, as long as they're getting oh, this will be the end of the perfect game if they get the tower. Which they should do. Yeah, so this is not going to be the perfect game. Tower will go down. LGD at least saved from that. Oh, tower saved. All right, tower doesn't go down. I thought that'd be the case. But yeah, the point about, well, should you contest, blah, blah, blah. Look, I think 2-item Sivir, LGD want to buy as much time as possible. I know that technically their top side of the map is a very early game win condition. They don't win fights if they play right now. They just don't. This Neferi will just end the game. Very, very difficult to play around it. So we might see EDG not really able to pull the trigger that much. Wave clear from Sivir into Infinity. Try and get something on side lanes with Ambessa, Vi, Ari. That might be the game plan for me at LGD. I think actually good discipline of them to not just perma headbutt. Ooh, cast storm again. Nice. SQW. Yeah, not really able to do that much in the individual matchup. Has no teleport this time either. Is there going to be an Ezreal to stop it? Is that going to be able to get there in time? It's going to be close. Nah, not quite. Off target. Off timing. SQW. Losing out an individual goal, but hey. Top lane tower will fall in this wave now. So no perfect game. LGD will take that on the top side of the map. Sorry, perfect game, believers. Not the case here. Tien saying, I thought Vi is good into Neferi? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. The Neferi presses W on the Vi ultimate, wins in the individual matchup. Even if you do it on the Q, it's good enough damage differential. What do I think of Sivir here? I think eventually Sivir can solo carry this game. There's not enough CC on the side of EDG to deal with Xiaoya. It's very hard to stop Sivir from auto-attacking and ricocheting through your team. I think this is a good Sivir pick. I think it's a good Sivir pick. When you see the Ezreal Braum, the Sivir's happy laning against that. They don't really have that much threat onto her. And they have done well in lane. Well enough, anyway. 20 seconds till the dragon now. Right, you have 2 items on your Sivir. Is that enough to force a fight? There's no 2 items built by Arn yet. He's got the 360 stacks on the tier. Doesn't have that all-important spike. Ooh, good jump forward from Arn. Ooh, very good jump forward from Arn, actually. Wow, Xiaoya, buddy, you can't be taking that kind of damage. Lazy skill shots. Hitting onto Xiaoya. Very easy. Very, very easy poke. Shouldn't happen like that. Will this be the 7th tier 1 game with the player winning with all the kills on the winning team? I doubt it, but hey. It's happened 6 times before in tier 1. Surely it can happen again, right? Herald in mid lane. It's Dragon start. That was an Ezreal multiple time. Not like the Ezreal ults of the past where you'd flip side lanes to make sure that they'd push in certain ways. Dragon goes to EDG, so LGD still not contesting. Still not doing that contesting thing, like at all. Right. Curious. How curious. Is this Nirvana? Yeah. Yeah, this is Nirvana. But this is, you know, I don't know. Come As You Are, not. What's a really aggressive song? Breed, I guess. Anyone here have a favorite Nirvana song? I was a big Nirvana fan. I still am a big Nirvana fan. They are one of my favorite bands of all time. Nirvana and Guns N' Roses, I went through a phase of really loving both them in secondary school. I think my favorite song by them is You Know You're Right. That song they recorded, I think. Lithium's a great song. It's a great song. Sassy on the sideline. And Angel walks out of the frickin' ultimate. Now, see, they never really fought in Arcane, and they don't really fight here, I guess. They didn't contest anything, but they want to scale. It was Sivir. They want Sivir to scale. If they get towards Infinity Edge, I think she is really happy. Need to get to that point, of course, but yeah. Man Who Sold the World is kind of... It's a very good cover. Of course, it was originally a Bowie song, right? Yeah. Aneurysm. Yeah, good song. I mean, there aren't many Nirvana songs I dislike. There are ones which I'm like, yeah, very experimental. And just niche. Which isn't mine. It's just not my niche. Polly's good. Polly's good. Like About a Girl. Although, alphabetically, it was the first song that would always play in my phone library. So, I would always get surprised by About a Girl when I just plugged the aux cord in and it randomly started playing music. It would always be Nirvana About a Girl. So my favorite band now, Linkin Park by far. Good charm on the south side. Yeah, Linkin Park are my favorite band. With Chester. I haven't really figured out what I'm doing with any new stuff yet. LGD, starting towards Atacon on the bot side of the map. CDZ will spot this going on. There's no contest. This is just going to go down. So LGD are going to get a free Atacon. Okay. They're still only 1,000 gold behind, by the way. It is sold point, 2.5 minutes. I mean, they're looking for a fight just before Dragon spawns now. YCX is immediately going to lose that. Why did you blow your ult then? Why did you ult then? Of all times. I don't get it. Yeah, you what? Huh? Nio, potentially going forwards for an ultimate. Chooses not to. YCX, but he uses heal and ult, but had the Atacon. Because it's going to die anyway. So strange from YCX. After such a good game too. Bring on the Horizon goes hard. I've seen them in a home gig in Sheffield. I went to uni in Sheffield. I know a lot of people who kind of grew up around Ollie Sykes. He was not the nicest person to be around for a very long time, folks. They're a great band. Ollie's got a reputation in Rotherham and Sheffield. But yeah, they're a really good band. I love Sempiternal and That's the Spirit. Those are very, very good albums. The post-survival human, blah blah, post-apocalyptic human survival horror was really good too. Really like that. Teardrops is just straight out of Meteora. Such a good Meteora, like, style track. 1 kill in 25 minutes. This is what we're reduced to, folks. So, hang on a second. Arn doesn't have a Braum beside him, and there comes the Ambassador. This is the combo. You can talk about Ezreal being safe as you like. It is not safe versus that. 2 kills in 25 minutes. Doubled our kill rate. Well, Group Nirvana smells like ass cheeks. What the hell, Amber? What the fuck? Okay, Baron's gonna get started. LGD. Go towards this. They still have Sivir ultimate. You have the you still have the Atacon still coming up soon. Now goes forwards, doesn't catch Angel. Remember, he can't get the reset on his ultimate because they still have the Atacon keeping him technically alive. ZDZ, good damage. How much is Sivir doing? Not enough, I don't think. And the Atacon doesn't apply to Y6. It is just Sivir. LGD lose the fight. No one dies except Arn in that pick beforehand. So this is, I mean, the bit beforehand was great when they had all their ultimates. They didn't have it now. The Q misses. Angel turns it around. And they don't have a way onto him at that point. You're not quite at the point where Sivir will just kind of one-shot the whole team. Later into the game, Sivir will carry fights like this. You're just not at that point just yet. You don't have that Infinity Edge built up because it's still not built up right now. Dragon is now alive, and, well, I guess LGD, they only lost their false lives, really. They didn't get the Baron. Dragon's now available. Angel's poking. You don't have flash from Nio, who used that in the last play. Dragon's going down. I mean, you have to go for a fight somewhere. Nio, what's the play? Do you go in for the ult? You have to go soon. Shield down from Wink. Nio, low HP. SQW flashes in, goes out. Well, jumps in, jumps out. No flash used just yet. And Besser is now at the play. Themselves will go for the flip. And it's taken by Xiaohao. Ocean Soul for EDG and LGD. Maybe you should have contested a little more. 4 dragons to none. LGD, they have committed to a slow, slow death. No cleanse Ezreal versus Vi. You can't cleanse versus Vi anyway, so that wouldn't have made a difference. The barrier is way more impactful. Feats of Strength completed at 27 minutes. Thank you for highlighting that in chat. It is very, very long. And EDG, they bided their time. They don't exactly have go buttons, but if you have a soul like that, force the enemy to come into you. Who needs that go button at that point? The objective dominance leads to fixing the flaws of their team composition. Hang on a second, there was a smite steal attempt. Naya went into the pit, didn't get it. Baron came through. Briefly zoning out. Solar casting will do that to you sometimes. I was ready to ride it off. Nio gets into the pit. That was why this crowd went wild. Doesn't manage to see off anything. Shout! Jesus Christ, the damage from that Q. Shout out. Do you want to go for anything more? How's the flash? Jumps over the wall again. Threatening. 2.5 items. Goes forwards onto the Ahri. But there's no bastard waiting for that. Is a little bit far there, buddy. Xiaohao uses W, uses the flash and gets out. Charm flash falls onto Angel. He has a flash too, though, and they don't have the follow-up damage. They also have, remember, an Ocean Soul. Tends to be quite helpful. LGD just have not contested, have they? Shaya is just not doing the damage at this point. You need this Sivir to be carrying your fights. SQW doesn't get the damage he needs to either. Great Ezreal ult. It's just very discoordinated. The Ahri's not jumping in at the same time. It's a mess. It's a mess. Back out onto the map. Of course, coming up later, we have Weibo versus BLG. Weibo just replaced their coach. I say replaced. They brought no... Well, we don't know what the state of their coaching is. They brought up Despair, a famous coach of OMG 2023, amongst other things. He coached for top esports for a bit too. It leaves Nofe in a strange situation. Not exactly what's going to happen with him. BLG were rumored to replacing their jungle Wei for someone like Beitron. That deal has apparently not come to fruition. But neither camp particularly happy. That'll come up after this series, of course, after this game. Shaya has Infinity Edge now. Is that the difference maker? I mean, the Ricochets are doing good work. Nio, does he go forwards again? Good damage onto the Ezreal. Can they follow up? Here comes the Sivir ultimate. Here comes the Ambessa 2. The shield might not be enough. The Ricochets are doing damage. Ezreal goes down. It's not bad damage from the side of LGD. I mean, the Sivir is doing work and ends up being, what, 3 for 2, all things said and done. Sivir hits 3 items, and LGD pull the trigger. Still, 2 left alive. They still have Ocean Stole, still have the last of that Baron buff. LGD, though, hitting the item breakpoints that they've been trying to hold on so desperately to make use of. Ricochets from Sivir. Nasty ass ability that when you get towards late game. No summoners now on Ezreal 2, of course. No barrier, no flash. Yeah, when you're 7 that, yeah, exactly, as Judge Peanut says in Twitch chat. When you're 7k down, yeah, taking a 2 for 3, you'll absolutely take that. 3 for 2, rather. Problem to fear with Ocean Soul is you can just drain tank. If Xiaoya gets Mortal Reminder, I think that's not going to be enough. Yeah, Carzal, that's exactly what I think too. I think basically what I think LGD have said is, look, we don't care about any objectives if you don't have CC and Sivir is like 4 or 5 items. It doesn't matter. Sivir, please carry this. I mean, maybe you can. You need to not give Elder. Elder does actually end the game. And EDG don't have engage. They need to use objectives. They need to use incredible advantages in both items and neutrals to make up for the fact that they don't have a go button. CDZ has teleport and flash. That can help, of course. Ezreal has Seekers, by the way, to try and stop some of that ultimate threat coming through from Vi. And I think that makes a lot of sense. He has AP ratios, of course. It does help a little bit. Just stopping that Vi ultimate can genuinely save you the game. On, clearing out waves. Side lane's forgotten for a little bit. Shaya with the Last Whisper has some armor shredding capability now. Not a piercing capability, not the Black Cleaver that shreds. Nio has that though. 2,000 of gold a piece in the advantage in mid and jungle. 3,000 gold for oh, not 3,000. 300 gold for Sassy in the top lane, and 3 items for him. Has the Death Stance. Not sure if he's going towards it. Hang on a second. Good Ezreal. Shaya, how much life steal has he got? Not that much. A little bit from Legends Bloodline, and that'll be it. Does have himself a Sorcerer's Pot, though, which is very important. Great damage on Shaya. You can't take that kind of damage, man. He has that sword, that Elixir of Wrath. It'll give him some physical vamp when he actually starts hitting champions, but only then. Is he going to be able to get to that point? Red buff will give him some regen while he's out of combat. That'll help. There's the Sivir coming through. Good range being kept by EDG. Naya goes forwards. Arm pops that Seekers. That helps a lot. YCX goes in with the ultimate. How much is the Ricochet going to do? The Elder is not going to be flipped from this kind of HP. Big Ricochet damage. The ultimate from the Ambessa misses. YCX doesn't have his anymore. And the Elder might just finish him off. The Ezreal are doing a lot of damage. Xiaohao is comboed up. Again, YCX will go down. But the tools down from LGD, I think, is so more important. No big ultimates to use. Sivir. How much can they do with just ricochets? Teleport back into the play. Ambessa coming back. Sassy, full HP. And it's a flip! It's a flip! And it's won by Xiaohao! Sivir goes down, Vi goes down, and the team follows. A 3-game series with 2 very long wins for EDG. 40 minutes in game 1. And Elder Dragon at 34 minutes for game 3. Very quick in game 2 from LGD, but they can't see that in this one. Victory to EDG. They'll drag LGD down to 3-1. EDG go up to 3-1 themselves and made things interesting in Group Nirvana. Edward Gaming getting a decent series for themselves. Nexus Falls, LGD interact for so little of the game, and they don't win in the times that they do. Lane versus the Talia, and you lose top lane matchup that way with the Ambessa, even though, well, Breathe is very good at Ambessa. The reason they log this in is because the Ambessa is very, very good for Breathe. They're locking the Nautilus last pick for On, choosing not to go to something more lane, more ranged, like double ranged bot lane, because someone like a Renata. Nautilus Varus starts fights incredibly well though, and they were lacking an engage option. I think this is the halfway house between something like a Renata for lane dominance, and then the Alistar for more tank and engage. Nautilus is very good in lane with the Varus, and can be an engager too. BLG, I like their composition more. They can lock people onto the Equalizer. Weibo, you are relying on Breathe to... Lagangia Dio. It's the TSM. I don't like Varus versus the dive. The thing is, I don't know whether they reach a poke Varus. You don't have the Vi to like flash point click him. I think Skarner's going to struggle to get through the Shinzao. Nico will get hooked or whatever. I think it's quite hard to actually reach the Varus. Like, not, yeah, I think there are definitely some comps where you look at the Varus and say, well, they're just going to die. This isn't a comp where I think that it's easy to reach the Varus. Yeah, Chinese casters in the background, echoing through the crowd mics. Wish I could understand them, but I can't. So, laning phase, bot lane, very important. The Nico is meant to get the Kai'Sa through laning phase. The hook misses on... Shiva. Can't land that one. The earlier the hook lands from the Nautilus, the better. Because if you have to eat multiple Nico Q cooldowns and... The earlier the hook lands, the better. Does get the passive order this time, though. Level 2 just about to get hit with that last minion. That's why Air was still positioning aggressively. That's what I've been reduced to after those hooks missed. I actually lost most letters of the alphabet while I was waiting for them to return. Villager sounding us. Anyone got any emeralds? No, you're trading well in the mid lane. Of course, Knights. Knights Talia, really good. Xiaohu's Galio, also one of his most legendary picks too. Worlds 2017, of course, he was on the team that lost to Faker's Galio, but his Galio around the same time was very good. Level 3 hit. Still decent HP from On. Has used his pots though. Tian coming bot side. As his way. LPL bot lane's notorious for not necessarily playing with the minimaps on and falling down to jungle camps. Oh, you two ammunition viewers? Is that where you know each other from? Cool. Wait, will get himself... is going to get himself the boss side Scuttle Crab. Okay, that's important. Doesn't have to use the... Did he have to use the smite there? I'm not sure, actually. Recalling on vision. Doesn't have access to the top side of the map. Night pushing in mid lane. Breathing top side. This is the worry about locking the Galio into mid lane instead of top lane. And then locking the Ambassador. You don't have lanes which can actually contest early. And you're hoping that the bot lane we're going to do that. They don't get that. So it's a double Scuttle now going in for Way. BLG, good early levels. Good early levels. Nico shouldn't be allowed to use Celestial Opposition. No, in fact, the other day in one of, I think it was, I'm trying to remember which game it was, but yes, there was a game the other day where Nico had to sell Celestial Opposition and get the Zazax instead. That is true. Nico is not allowed to build that item for now because of a bug. I'm not sure what it is, but yes. Recall not stopped. Ambassador's cooldowns early. Very long, so you take like one short trade. You have to wait a little bit. 10 seconds per cooldown, really early game. In, overheating, just pushing it again. Full vision control on top side, really. Well, I mean, the vision control means less against a Skarner who can drive through walls because you have to ward out so many different places, but still. CS even in top side. In fact, actually, Breathe gets a slight freeze here. Bin might have messed up his lane state a little bit. Oh, flash heal going forwards. Where's the root coming through? Q lands. Waste hit 2, hook lands 2. On gets the CC. Does Way want to fly in? I don't think so. So, Ignite Blind from On, heal burn from Urha. I think on the whole, has had a good debut up here in the LPL so far. He's been better than Hung. He's been more sustained, more consistent for Weibo. Way a much more confident start for him in this game than he's had a lot of them recently. BLG seem to have a better early plan, a better draft for themselves. I've been a big fan of BLG's drafting. Big Way's drafting has been one of the biggest criticisms of his game. Almost a flick back from Knight there. Not able to. Clone spotted out from there. With that, wind becomes lightning. Dragon available. Grubs on the top side. 2 camp advantage from Wei, who's feeling pretty happy about things with those Scuttle Crabs being those camps. 10 should be going towards Grubs, but do you want to see if we can find an angle in mid lane first? Well, Dragon takes a long time to kill. This is the thing. Dragon takes a long time to kill. And as you can see, Wei's pulled off of it. Goes towards the Scuttle Crab instead. No, he gets it anyway. Okay, the burn comes through. I was wondering whether that W the wrong direction had put him in a bad spot. Knight goes through. Has flash. Uses it. Ult for flash. Not a bad trade there for BLG. Huh? Jen will now go towards the Grubs. Worth noting, though, while this is happening, Wei can still keep clearing through his camps. He can get himself towards level 6. Oh, they both have level... Well, he has level 6 already. Gets red buff maybe for this fight. If he gets red buff, Wei is in a big point of power. Tian will get it, and he'll start clearing himself now. But still, just a little bit to be aware of in that jungle matchup. We did see earlier today what happens when a Skarner falls behind sometimes. You can be very, very squishy when you're meant to be that front line. Stable early game from BLG. Which is better than they've had in a lot of games. A lot of the time, problem isn't about BLG fighting from ahead. It's about getting to that point in the first place. Good wrap around. Didn't mean that much damage after. Second half beam doesn't hit, but still, decent damage onto Breathe. Slight, well, there's basically no gold lead now actually for BLG, worth noting. Bot lane 10 CS down for BLG. On's mishooked in early lanes, maybe the cause of some of that. Crowd warn him. So players are on a so the players are playing slightly ahead of us, so they won't get warned like that because the crowd's on a very slight they're on a slight delay, like a couple of seconds, so it often doesn't impact things like that. Can do sometimes, but not all the time. Hang on a second, I'll hit by that W. I guess light without the Q upgrade can't do much about that. Once you get Q upgrade, then Kai'Sa can ping a W like that and occasionally get some crazy plays. Use the aftershock on the clone. That does happen, by the way. You can proc aftershock on clones. Dragon now started up. They'll spot the ward. Wait, but no, this is going on. Don't spot that other ward, though. Of course, Knight doesn't have that. Well, he does have the sweeper himself, but I think he would have... Well, not going to lead to that much, luckily, for them. Equalizer coming through. Breed doing well in the individual matchup, actually. He's doing very well. Breed's own Besser, probably his best champion right now. He's been playing incredibly effectively on this pick in general. Finn's Rumble is such a pick which he's grown to be good at. Champion which he was less good at on something like 2023 Worlds. He grew to be better at it, and it became one of his better champions. Damn, non-existent food is very good sometimes. Like the holographic meatloaf which Plankton eats in SpongeBob. Breaking news! I can't remember what the announcer fish says sounds besides that, but that's all I got. I remember on one of my very old phones I had an MP3 downloaded of the fun song from SpongeBob, and I would play that on repeat. Ah, the times we had when technology was not as good. See, the joke about the holographic meatloaf is that Plankton, they photosynthesize anyway, so eating light is actually their food source. That's the joke. Grub spawning in a minute. Mid lane, we've got that push and pull between bot laners. Way off vision. Reed still has flash. Might be able to fish for some cooldowns here and there. A little bit of HP, that'll be it. A lot of the time we do see people jumping onto individual members just to chunk HP before a fight. They'll even use an ultimate too, just to make sure that the ambassador can't join the fight. Right there, no big option. Breathes recall, gets himself a full Shojin. That's huge. Full Shojin is big. Shiv coming through from light. Ah. I wonder whether we see poke Kai'Sa coming through on vision. Spots it out. He was wondering why people were backing off from him. Hey, this is meant to be the place you're meant to be coming through. Why are you not here? Ah, ward. Get vision control all along here. Done a very good job of getting vision control. Airho will use that clone to scout ahead. Tian, just down a ward. What's coming through? Teleport in from the Galio. They have the Galio ult. Remember, Shojin on breathe. He has that one item and they don't get everything. And here comes the Ambessa. Galio on top of it. And here comes the Skarner. Where is the Impale? Could be crucial. They're in the choke point now. And they haven't gotten themselves the best kills. That will certainly help, though. Take down Shinzo. Take down Rumble. The damage is still there from the Varus and the Talia. And they start to clean up, though. And that's going to be a bit of an issue. Knight flashes away from the Ambessa and tries to get some damage. Round Light tries to kill Lilk on the other side. Knight still firing. Doesn't have a flash to continue that kill. And the arrow doesn't either. Ends up being 2 for 1, all things said and done, in favor of Weibo. Make that 3 as Light gets the snipe. Breathe starts it off. It says it is his Ambessa. His Ambessa is so important towards this team. His Ambessa is his best champion. It shows exactly why it's got such a reputation there. Guess we'll see a replay of that at some point. Breathe coming in with the Shojin. Didn't go for that Eclipse first. We've seen some of the Theories skipping Eclipse recently too. Going towards the Shojin to Black Cleaver instead. Feels like Eclipse is just a little bit understated for what it is nowadays. I mean, Breathe just gets into the fight. That's all he needs to do. Just gets into the fight. Galliwalt goes off the choke one as well. Means that the Rumble Equalizer doesn't get that much value. And then that flash forward to catch Elk on the other side stops a bit of damage coming through. I thought Knight would be able to turn this. But if you look at the amount of damage that happens to Elk because he gets hit by that taunt, it kind of turns things. I think if Elk doesn't get hit by that taunt, I do think that Knight and Elk can close things off. Great W coming through. Now BLG have a problem. That is a 2-0-1 Kai'Sa. One that should have lost lane, potentially, to the Varus and the Nautilus. You expected that to be a much higher kill threat lane. And now they're not. They're online. They're going to go towards a longer range Kai'Sa build at some point, third item onwards. And I wonder whether Elk and On have not held up their end of the bargain when it comes to this draft. You just have to wonder. Knight in that last fight did a lot of work, by the way. I want to again just highlight that. I genuinely think BLG, as it comes to it, Knight is the guy who's elo held, on the whole. Too overextended with BLG. Not quite in position to respond at the right time. Dragon spawning now. 4 grubs to 2. X flash over. Find out air here. We'll find that out. It comes through, and the Shinzo gets value as well. The Pop Blossom goes on cooldown, but doesn't even knock anyone up. Kai'Sa has ultimate. Do they go forwards again? Tian goes forwards. Elk goes over the wall. Galliwalt's pulled as well. But in comes Knight. Everyone coming to the play, and it's a massive Impale. Oh, Tian, you beauty. 3-man Impale versus BLG. Wei will try and turn it around, but it is oh so late. BLG not judging their fights well and getting torn apart. What has happened to BLG? This team is in free fall. 7 kills to 2. Weibo, change of coach. And they look like they're back on form potentially. First win, first game of the day, not often BLG's favorite, but definitely one which they would like to be winning here. It's a great initial pick. They get the Nico ult for free. The Crescent Guard used to seal that kill, which is now very, very important here. What happens after this? Elk, ums and ahs, doesn't get that much value in. And it's a great flash forward. I've no idea how Elk gets caught in that too. I really think Elk should have thrown the ult forwards at some point. Chooses not to. Maybe just thinking about disengaging, but I think the ult would have done that too. Elk, I think, a little too conservative with that skill. Fantastic from Tian, though. Fantastic. Bin now next on the menu. Another wall stun. Tian on the Skarner, showing what this champion is absolutely goddamn broken. Skarner will comes through. But it's just so... I mean, the combo... Now that's better. The combo comes through. This is where the Varus ult should have been used before. Kills off Tian. Importantly so. While this is happening, though, Xiaohu gets to use his... Colossal slam onto that tower, that passive, breathe on top side too. They have 4 grubs. Both of them getting value on these outer turrets. BLG falling behind the pace of the game. 2,000 gold bound. More than that now, actually. 2.5. 30 seconds. Not 30 seconds. Herald is now up. 3 minutes and 30 seconds till the dragon's back up again. Dragon apiece. You gotta start wondering a little bit, don't you? How the hell are BLG gonna deal with the Ambassador and the Kai'Sa with this much extra gold? 5 kill Kai'Sa. 5 kills. The Rumble's not doing that much work right now. Knight needs a little bit of a platform from his team. It's too easy for everyone to follow up onto him. The Talia, when you're in an even game, fantastic at playing that kind of mid-range, dodge out of the engage, space things apart. When you're behind it, looks a lot different. On. Spots out the Nico. Cancel that clone. BLG 4 and 4, way about the same. This is a mid-table clash now, folks. Two of our world's representatives the last 2 years. Falling on hard times. Herald started up. Wait, but do have that flash Nico ult. Light can also keep checking with his W as well. Has the rage, like 2 items on that Kai'Sa already. Insane. Teleport coming in from the Galio. Breathe. What'll he do? Skarner again only gets that onto the Nautilus this time. He was locked in place too. Galio gets onto the Shin Zone. Elk is caught again. He doesn't flash the Ambassador ult and dies. Elk with a huge mistake. BLG with a huge mistake. Taking a fight where they couldn't close the angles. But the bot lane of BLG sent packing again. Talia ult used to get back towards mid lane, try and wave clear out a little bit. It won't stop the first turret dying, I don't think. Maybe it will. Maybe it will. Knight comes back in time to wave clear this. If he wasn't there, they would have lost their mid lane turret. BLG choosing poor fights. I don't think they realize the terrain and the positioning of the enemy team when they're going towards these plays. I don't think they understand it. And right there, Weibo had that secondary angle available to them. Played it so well. Top lane turret's now gone down. Bot lane not taken on this wave, but under threat. Low HP. 604 is light. So, Varusol here is fine. But, like, what's the communication? You know that Ambassador's behind you. Steps back. And that... You flash the ult, L! You must flash the ults! That is unforgivable. That is unforgivable, Elk, that you do not flash there. Cleanses and dies anyway. Elk must flash that. He doesn't, he panics, he dies. Elk and On. I have a lot of faith in them for LPL caliber of play, but they do sometimes just have the most strange inconsistencies. Not good laning to hit here in this first game. Bad missed positions from the both of them at points too. If he goes upwards there, he can go into the rest of his team. Breathe doesn't catch him with the ult. It's not an instant combination with Xiaohu. He can use his Ghost Blade. He can use his Cleanse. He'll get out. Flashes this time. Well, at least he had that. Elk caught out of position again. No need to be pushed up that far. They didn't have vision across the place. Unsafe positioning from Elk in general. Positioning. Flashy. Hang on a second. They're going forwards again. Going on towards maybe the Nico this time. Breathe. Get the Varus on top of air. Oh my god, it's a lot of damage. Away, my dude. You have no support. Where is the equalizer? Oh, it's in between the middle of the team and achieves oh so little. It equals 0. A double taunt from Xiaohu. Knight, the only member left alive, wondering what has happened to my team. Knight has flash. He might need to use it. Yes, he does. BLG have been hooked up to the electric chair, and Billy normally means electric shock. This one's a bit too high voltage, and it's attached to their own cranium. Hextech Dragon taken by Weibo. BLG looking like a shadow of their former selves, or as Weibo finding themselves a bit more pace. I don't get what Elk was doing in those last series of plays. I don't get what Wei was doing there either, looking for a cheap kill onto the Nico. Can't finish it off. Snatch and grab. See a small opening and try and run towards it, but not with the support of his team. The coordination of BLG is not what we have known from them. On. Hex Flash is over, but there's no combo from Knight. Tries to get Tian out of that play. Rumble teleports in late, and then Wei goes into early too. On and Wei, both of them having a bad game here. a bad equalizer. Doesn't get himself any kind of follow-up there into his play either. The Varus and the Talia, not within range of that. Positioning there from Elkanon. Suspect, again. It's Xiao who gets that double taunt. No flash on Varus there, so disengage. On will spot out that clone. And you just have to wonder what has happened to BLG to lead to this level of historic downfall. From the most dominant regional team in LPL recent history to whatever this gameplay is they're showing them, something has gone horribly, horribly wrong. You can call out Shun and Wei and the jungle change from last Worlds. Of course, remember that Wei came in to fix the problems that Shun had. They were already showing some cracks there. Yes, Shun came back in. They made a World Finals. But this team has had a lot of questions to answer. Wei will be caught out by Tien now. Gets into a taunt. The vision control. Oh, so nasty from Weibo. And Wei goes down. Again! Flash ult from Tien. Will not catch out Elk. Equalizer into the choke point. Nautilus comes through. That's the hook on top of it. The Galio keeps him safe. And once again, Elk is caught. This Varus is not known safety. Bin has flash. That's why he body blocks that one. Someone had to take that Galio, that Skarner knock into the wall. Just so happened to be Bin. Weibo are making fun of BLG. This is not close. Tien doing the Lord's work here. So many good Skarner ults going forward. I think he's been absolutely pivotal. Of course, Light gets the lion's share of the gold. I think Tien has been my player of the game. Fantastic ults. Choosing angles through the wall. The vision control from Weibo. Gets them a series of picks before the Atacon comes down. And BLG don't have cross maps. They're not cross-mapping well today, which has been another one of their hallmarks of style. At least, you know, if they fail a fight, Bin or Knight will be pushing somewhere else on the map. It'll be fine. They'll get a value from a tower. They'll come back and they'll beat you in the next one. Hasn't been the case for the last series. Last few series. Bin down 2,000 gold. Knight down 2,000 gold. Elk down 2.7 thousand gold. Weibo on the other side. We thought, well, you know, they really were being held back by Hung, a support that was on historic poor levels of form. Erha comes in. We thought, well, it's an LDL player. Is it going to be any good? Yeah, turns out it has been. Erha has gone from strength to strength. Not without his flaws, but no one is. And I think for a debut into the LPL, he has been absolutely sublime. For the unexpected emergency substitution, it effectively has been. Beats the strength claim from Weibo, by the way. And, yeah. Extra gold for them. Will not go amiss, will it? Won't go amiss at all. I don't think BLG have a way back into this game now. I think the members they have to kill are too tanky. Light, maybe if they kill Light, but a minute left on the Atacon. Will overlap with the start of the Dragon. If they die in the setup to it, well, that's going to get even worse, isn't it, on the Hextech Rift? On, he's going to be very easy to kill now. The problem with On at this point is you have used up your mistakes in this game as Nautilus. You're behind the game, and now you're not tanky. Might need to be a little bit careful. Has flash, doesn't want to blow for free. Will spot out the Skarner. Flashes immediately. Good flash. He didn't flash there, he dies. He needed to do that. It's the problem with the vision control. This is what we're saying. BLG, they've used their mistakes. Wei has flash. That's not a battle into there. Where's the equalizer? Here it comes. Not bad into the choke point. Breathe. Doesn't get onto it this time. The Varusol doing good work. Tien goes down into the Atacon, but the Nautilus is already dead. Knight gonna get jumped onto. Wei. Not bad damage on the other side of it. Light still alive though. BLG giving a good fight for the state in the game, but they still lose 2. And the withdrawal on the other side will come back onto the map much quicker. Not bad from BLG. They found a choke point, got a Varusol, and an equalizer into it. That was good. Hard to fight back against the vision control. This is maybe the moment where BLG can look to do something, right? Weibo, just they invest a lot of time in top side of the map. Used a lot of ultimates too. Won't have them available for this dragon spawn, and yes, you won't have your ultimates either. I think ultimates to no ultimates. Still hard though, isn't it? Skarner's so valuable with that wall stun. Tien will start it up. They'll give up the dragon. The game's not done yet, I suppose. 9,000 gold feels about as good as done. Galio has 10 stacks on the Dark Seal. As if it wouldn't get any worse. Breed's Ambassador is good as always, forcing flashes with every ult. Kills with the ones which don't. What has happened to BLG, man? I think the solo lanes have been okay this game. I think they've been fine. That's often been the state of BLG. Even when they reach World Finals, my opinion of them was Knight and Bin are generationally world class. The other players on the team, they are good, but they're not World Finals level players. Gonna get caught out. I think nowadays, Bin has not been on the best form. This game, I don't think it's great. I don't think it's apparent for this game, but I think for this split, I think Bin's fallen off too. Bot lane has, again, been inconsistent. And it's left Knight alone to really figure out what to happen, what to do. They're not on the same page as the team. Their drafting's been off. Weibo on the other side, they've always been the consistently inconsistent team. Losing and winning it against all comers. Baron started up. Are we going for a flip? Might well be it. Tien has that ultimate potentially to do something a little bit silly. Equalizer into the pick and also make things pretty interesting too. Wait, doesn't have flash, but he can E over. Xiaohu will look towards a taunt. Someone needs to block for him. Breathe goes in as well. There goes the Galio Tien over the wall. Elk is safe right now. So is Knight, but the Rumble goes down. Light is burning. And now actually, that's the Kai'Sa out of the play. That's one kill back. The hook back in. Both damaging members of BLG do have some potential. Knight gets a shove back, but I just don't think they have the gold. After all said and done, they play the fight well, but it is much too late. Knight goes back in. It's a Hail Mary. He will get the 1,000 gold shut down, but that's all you can do. It is all you can do. A 4,000 damage team fight from the Skarner. And Weibo will put themselves into more of an advantage, even though there was a scare. I don't even think that was a bad fight from BLG. Again, they've had a couple of good fights. The last couple, Elk and Knight, have been untouched. I think Knight has done such a good job of keeping himself relevant in such a hard game to remain so. This time it's Bin that kind of eats the bad end of this. 0-5. That, I mean, the equalizers haven't been perfect. We'll see what happens again in this one. On goes towards a flash ult, gets cancelled out by the Ambassador ultimate. Equalizer's not bad, actually. This time it's fine, gets a lot of damage onto Light, and the Kai'Sa, most of the threat is immediately gone. Look how much value Knight and Elk managed to get from double angles onto here. The Impale escape back from. Elk survives through to get another skill shot through. Knight uses the ult for extra gap close. Gets double Zhonya's out. Like, you are 9,000 gold behind. The fact that BLG can make a question of it shows the pedigree that they do have, but they never get to fight on even footing nowadays. It feels like they've just misjudged their team comps, their games, and teams like Weibo, even though they are struggling, seem to have a better idea of how they want to play the game. Why did they even replace Shun? A lot of drama between... Hang on a second. Hook was potentially going to air her, the squishiest member of the team. Tien going forwards again. Doesn't get the wall stun this time. Not flick back. Yeah, but why was Shun removed? There was a lot of drama between poaching allegations where he was potentially going to Weibo, actually. And BLG out of... I think they felt loyalty was broken. They ended up kicking and burning that bridge. Some questions about whether it really was Shun's fault. Or whether it was the manager who was part of the poaching allegations as well. But that's how the story goes. I'm not telling you what's right or wrong there. I'm telling you what the rumors have said there. One of those ones which might be hard to know over time. Okay, 4 items for Kai'Sa. Oh, that's scary. 4 item Kai'Sa. There is a Void Staff on Knight. Knight is at a good power point. I mean, you sit people onto those rocks for long enough, maybe you can make a difference. Hard to say, but we'll see. Hey, monsters, good to see you. Wait, 2 items, has that Black Cleaver. Trying to do some damage in the front line. On, spotted out. Baron's still available, of course. Wasn't taken in that last plane. Dragon coming up in 40 seconds. 10,000 gold, the advantage to Weibo. And said, not the easiest ways onto the backline, as we've said. If the initial engage goes wrong, you can't get through that spell shield of Elk. And the double flash is now available for both carries. BLG. I mean, it's BLG. You have to give them some respect. 10,000 gold down, though. Very hard to come back from that. Oof, W poke onto Knight. Takes so much damage off him, actually. He has teleport, has ult. Will recall. Dragon spawning now. Knight will recall, get himself back onto the map somewhere. Has that 3rd tier ult to really go long distance across the map. I was a little bit scared there. There was a taunt potentially coming through or a root. Help her back in from Knight. I mean, Weibo, what's the plan? How do you reach the carries? Let's watch Light. Light gets a good fight. The fight is just immediately over. That's one checklist with BLG need to make sure does not go right. Hook goes forwards, but it's onto a tank. Goes onto the Zhonya Su. On. Can he get an ult through onto anyone? No, not just yet. Breathe. Was wondering whether he could pull that ult. On. Still has flash. Still has ult. He will die for this ult, but he needs to get something air her. Not able to get a big ult onto the backline. Light gets way down. Hextech Soul for Weibo. Elk flashing forwards and doesn't get kills, but he's flashing onto a Nico. Knight left alone on the backside. Both carries making mistakes. And Weibo pouncing mercilessly. Light has been so disgusting. Hextech Soul will slow very shortly after this. The root comes through and Elk looking more like a fawn. Teleport into the mid lane. Weibo will take game 1 of this series surely after that fight. Breathe. Great game from him on the Ambassador as well. 7-0 and 14. However, you can't help but notice there is a 16-1 and 12 Kai'Sa in the game. BLG did not punish it in lane, did not stop it in team fights. And the light is blinding. BLG fall at the hands of Weibo in game 1. We'll have to reconsider for game 2. Now, I would suggest the Rakan. Rel comes in instead, it's fine. Good engage option for them. Of course, they were also lacking a little bit of that themselves. Rakan would have been similar, but I feel like the Rakan would have had better laning phase. Rel does break the shields of Karma, though, worth noting. Knight can't play Orianna. He can do. He needs to engage more, though. Orianna is not engaged. You need both of them to be able to engage. You can't just have the Jarvan being able to engage. There are 2 bits of hard CC on your team now. You have Jarvan and you have the... Oh. Oh my god, there's a kid doing the Charizard of BLG. That's adorable. IGJ. Oh my god, did everyone else hear like the BLG? Like, oh my god, it's adorable. Oh my god. Nice. So, BLG, relying on Knight's Ahri, one of the best, well, he is the best Ahri, in my eyes, in the world. This guy's absolutely insane on the champion. Only reason I don't call him best Ahri of all time, hang on a second, engage him through. On. It is impossible to miss a level 1 Karma ult Q, and yet he does that. That might cost them the ability to blow Tien's flash. That's a bad Q from On. Alright, Light. Oh, hang on, level 2 gank. Wait, takes the first camp. Maybe getting double flashes here. Gets 1. He'll get out with just the crash down. The old Jarvan level 2 gank, rearing its head. Now, the problem is, Tien, got level 2, can walk over to the other side of the map, is a better duelist right now than the Jarvan is. And walk towards that red buff. Maybe Wei just goes towards his Krugs and says, alright, there's a chance I get contested on red. Let's pull Tien down towards a different camp. It's a camp steal for camp steal. Tien will be back even with the blue buff to Raptor trade. As long as everything else goes even. So, finish that off. Doesn't have his combo right now. We'll get the bad news once he finishes red buff about the Raptors. So Tien's going to do a very irregular path. He's going to finish off his level 3 without having a single buff, actually. Himself Wolves, enemy Raptors, Grom. Way, walking over to the other side of the map. Notice that the Raptors were gone. Well, now notice that Gromp is gone too. He now knows the full pathing. He'll know exactly what happened. Hang on a second. What does he think he can do here? No, nothing. All right, was just seeing if there's a recall maybe coming in from Tien. Weibo maybe a little bit afraid of getting Jarvan ganked, and as well they should be. We're stuck around. No flash on Light. Does have the barrier. Remember, only that one piece of CC. Knockup comes through. Ezreal jumps in. Double crash down. And a root on the turret. Elk goes onto the aggro. Air has nothing left. So, all things said and done, On makes the crucial decision to die instead of letting Wei and Elk do that on the turret. Light dies. He'll lose some XP. Kill goes over to Jarvan. But Jarvan is now losing camps on the top side of the map. So Jarvan is losing XP. Karma's going to recall, has recalled rather. We'll come back alive, respawn. And we're going to top side jungle. Tian can't last, it can't stay any longer, knowing that On could be around here. Has full complement of abilities. So Tian is now a camp ahead. Technically, more than that now, because it's another camp steal away. Gets the smite hit through. Smack. That's a flash force. Tian still has the flash himself. Bin, no CC. This is the problem with the Gwen. You don't have any CC to set up for your team. Imagine if that was a Renekton instead. It'd be a dead Tian. Can't do anything about it. Elk stopped from recalling the other side. And now because On has gone from bot side to top side to help out Wei, it's Elk that's suffering. Despite the fact that it was Light dying in that bot side dive, he's now ahead in gold. Light got the kill. Elk didn't. Elk now going to be down a bit of experience as well as he loses a wave here. A lot of experience even. Contrasted to where he should be. Weibo feels like again they have a better angle on, a better idea on where they want to be on the map. Knight was just trying to judge an Aurora W there, I think. Probably still not the best place to place that Q. Ooh, great charm. Bunny versus Fox, typically a matchup with the Fox wins in real life. Tian. A little bit down in gold because that kill over towards Wei, but a little bit of XP up. Won't be able to get the double scuttle though. Good Q there from On. Gets a slow. And just trying to body block a little bit. Well play from him. Knight going towards the Roa build. I think Knight has to go for the Roa build this game. I actually do agree with this. He needs to be more brazenly able to engage. If he goes towards the Rod of Ages, he has the HP to dive in and look for a more aggressive charm. Grub started up. Early game back to even. Mid lane 10 CS down for Knight, actually. Don't know how he lost that much CS. Ah, it's because he's moving around the map and he's dropped a wave to bot lane so they could pick it up. The reason why Elk is now ahead in farm is because he picked up the farm which was meant to go to Knight. Two grubs taken. Smite available for the third. 3 grubs for BLG. Dragon not taken yet by either side. Knight pushing in. Xiaohu. Ah. That's not where he wants to be, but Q misses. What's going to come up? Wei could follow him through this if he wanted, but maybe not the best idea. On not the best accuracy with his Qs early on, despite the fact that Karma is very hard to miss those mantra Qs, the soul flares. In a flame soul flare. What's the other stuff? Defiance is the... Defiance and Renewal. And then, Inspire is the... one of the things, and I can't remember the other one for the E on Karma. Shield onto Elk, stops the trade from Xiaohu being powerful on the way back. So, BLG. Even for now. Even for now. Knight doing fine into the Jace matchup here. Typically, Ahri was actually a Jace counter back in Season 7 MSI. For those of you remember that, one of the few times where Ahri was meta before the 2022 resurgence. I think a lot of people, after seeing years of Ahri, think that Ahri was always meta. She was meta in Season 3 and 4, and then basically fell off a cliff until 2022. She was there around a little bit in 2017. Tiny bit in 2015 as well. Not that much. Around 2015 MSI was a little bit. around the Ahri rework. Elk doing well in a situation up in top side as well. Lane assignments for BLG, getting some value. Dragon not taken yet by either team. 3 grubs for BLG, the only objective taken so far. Xiaohu does have ult. There's no mana for Elk. Well, lacking mana. So, out of the early game without... I mean, I guess it's without everything that BLG wanted. I think they should have been further ahead, given everything. Xiaohu maybe overstaying in topside. And he's stopped that recall again. On will be on the run this time. Gets that W. Flashes to follow. Now, that's the kind of play you want to see out of him. Force the flash out of Xiaohu. Sadly, can't follow for the kill. Finn, now a little overextended on bot side. He's full HP. Does have Ghost. He does have Needlework. Jin's coming down. Down that river. See how much value he can get. Where's the W? Where is that W? Microstorm comes in. Oh, Bin. Oh, Bin. Caught out well out of position. Needlework does a lot of value. I don't think it's going to matter all the same, though. And Air ends up securing the kill. So it goes a little over long. Uses the Ghost, uses the ult. Tian going to stop the recall from Elk of all things. Xiaohu survives on the top side of the map as well. From whatever the heck just happened there. Tian ulted, flashed. Elk burns that cleanse. Oh yeah, Grasp Gwen helping us survive through that, of course. And cookies. Cookies are one hell of a drug, folks. One hell of a drug. That's what they call all the best drugs nowadays, cookies. You're done with meth, Molly, and Charlie, and all of the other things which mean exactly the same. They don't mean the same thing. Yeah. But it's all about cookies now. You got any? Yeah. You got any cookies? So this is what happened on the top side. Pantheon came forward. Oh, because the minions just left the turret. He was just in tower range. So he gets that cleanse out of Elk. Sadly can't get the flash as well. Very nearly took him down. If there was another turret shot, maybe could have gone towards that. Wait, we're not going towards a contest on the grubs. That means that at least 5 are going their way, you'd have to imagine, with the smite coming through. Tian no flash to go for a smite steal for that one. It is 5. Uses the smite, so Tian will be safely able to get that 6. No contest. Just trying to see. Yeah, I mean, all you have to do is wait a little longer on your smite and use it like that. Exactly. Easy, secure. No smite on the other side to make things interesting. Like, uses that Ghost Blade. The common build on Jin nowadays, using that Ghost Blade to get the extra movement speed. Air goes for the Magnet Storm, and this time it's going to be Bin caught out again. Bin! Just not in the right place, and suddenly now Jin starts to open up 2 kills very quickly down. E forced out. And while they lose grubs, Weibo pick up some good kills, and this Gwen is not getting the value that she'd quite like. Ahri wasn't at the play. BLG just didn't expect an aggressive play to come through there, I don't think. And now down to 0 and 2. It's a little bit of damage down. Rod of Ages being built up for the Aurora, it's worth noting. So what happens here? They spot Airho going over here, but it's too late by this point, right? Bin's in the wrong place. I don't really think he should have been there anyway. He didn't have ult, didn't have Ghost. You're not looking for a fight there as the Gwen. You're not bringing that much value. Odd series today from Bin. I think Bin's time as top of the LPL top lane pool and top of the world in terms of top laners, up there with Keen, Zeus. I think that's over now. Teleport coming through. Pantheon ult coming through. Elk doesn't have that cleanse, was blown earlier by Tian, and it means he can't escape the CC combo. There's a 4th shot. Don't even need to use it. Tian takes the kill instead. Elk overextended. Teleport from Xiaohu a little much, but he'll just return back to his own mid lane, and he'll be fine. And it's a sad state of affairs for BLG. 1 to 5 in kills. 1.5k down at 13 minutes. 400 gold up for Knight's Ahri, who was trying to get some value in side lanes beforehand, but as often it has happened, Knight has been tasked with one thing, and his team has failed to hold up their end of the bargain on the other. Bin just used his W. Uses the needlework, will look towards a bit of a kill. Does get himself a good needlework there. The Ignite is dropped onto him. Remember, he has that grasp for extra healing. He saves himself this time. Importantly so, Ezreal ult's not going to get the kill. Goes wide. Breathe with his own cookies this time. Surviving nice. Plenty of health there. Good Q return. Still has his ultimate. Actually, next time the cooldowns come up, Knight actually might look for a bit of a return back through here. Best I think you can do is force the ult out on the other side. Can he get himself a follow to the ult? No. He will force Xiaohu out of lane. Knight trading ult for ult. Both going for the Rod of Ages build. Knight a little bit ahead in terms of that experience. Did he have the level 11 for that play? I don't think he had it at the start of it, actually. But big XP advantage. Means at least that'll give him some value. Wait, starting down that dragon. First dragon of the game. Very late picked up. But it goes over towards BLG. Never seen Elk and Bin get solo killed in a split since the inception of BLG. Obviously, BLG went back before Bin and Elk were both on here. But yes, in 2023 spring, before Tabe joined to kind of tighten up the roster, BLG did have a lot of games like that, where they were very inconsistent, very snap engage, very much about globals and 1-3-1s. And both Elk and Bin were quite suspect on that roster at points. Tabe came in at the end of 2023 spring regular season, turned them into an absolute force of nature. They beat Weibo on the way towards their top. In fact, the BLG story of this era starts with Weibo beating them in 23 spring playoffs when Weibo built a super team with Karsa. That team was the Shy, Karsa, Xiaohu. Yeah, that was Light as well. So they're the one non-international title holder on the roster, and then Crisp as well. That was their roster back then. They were expected, top 3 team. Ended up bowing out before the double elimination bracket. BLG went towards MSI, reached MSI finals. That's where they started. On, caught out. He's on vision there. Great Magnet Storms across the game from the young support player. On, does still have flash. Has that renewal. Doesn't get to use it, though. Gets shot in the head. Domed by Light. Way will go down too. Why are they taking fights like this? On caught out. Knight coming around. Does have his ult again. Now can he start cleaning up? Tien's in the brush. Knight, can he get seen off? Jhin ult comes through. Second third comes through. Cleanse as well. L doesn't have enough now. Knight tries to go and peel for his AD carry. Not going to be enough. Tien has a Q and kills. Knight has flash. Has one last ult charge. Will at least get out safety from that. Might need to save his ult for something else. Sobs right on that side. Oh, Knight tries to clean up, but uses his teleport, abandons the side lane. BLG, they're getting randomly caught on wards. On the architect of their downfall for that series of events, pushing too far, not on a safe enough support to escape that. And Weibo Pounce so much better. They're picking up the pieces so much better. Tien, great Pantheon play. Forcing summoners, chasing down for extra cooldowns, judging the long trade. But BLG's mistakes across the map are now forcing Ahri's lead to then be mitigated. Was 400, 500 gold ahead, now behind 200 gold because of the mistakes of On and the rest of the team. It's another pickoff. His teammates is not close. You can't be there if your teammates are not close enough. Even Wei, with the incredible engage range of the Jarvan, not nearly close enough. And he dies before he even gets to use Cataclysm. They call into a play where they don't even use the Cataclysm. He is down here now. Breathe has flash. He can flash out of it, and indeed he does. They have no other CC. They're in CC. That's a good charm, though. Great charm from Ahri. Knight getting something from nothing. Yeah, they need to get so high value out of their Jarvan and out of the Ahri. The Jarvan's not getting it. 1,500 gold behind almost. Ahri trying to get something. The closest thing to a gold lead that BLG have. Knight's Ahri, legendary at the pick. Q into the bush. They'll spot him out. Airherald on the flank. Herald was taken. Wait. Went over the wall. Standard giving everyone attack speed. 5 growth will make it easier to take the turret. They'll definitely take that gold. And they'll take it into their pockets. Tries to close things up a little bit more. BLG trying to thread the needle a little bit there. Figuring out some way to do some smoke and mirrors. These slim openings to open up the map. Blue buff goes down. Been almost pulled out Tien here. He has needlework if he wants to go for a heavy trade. Goes for one part of it. And he uses his ultimate to get out of the next part of it. No CC from Bin to cancel that. Grand Starfall used to bravely run away. They'll never win worlds like this. And that's That's kind of the thing which that's always been the question about BLG. It's like, you reached a Game 5 World Finals. One team fight away from hoisting the Summoners Cup. That was with, you know, a bot lane and a jungle, which I don't think were World Championship caliber. That was a very rare thing to see with two solo laners, which are so incredibly good that they can carry them to that level. I think Bin's fallen off now, but I think that Elkon and, of course, Wei instead of Shun now are not necessarily at the level they were at either. Knight on top side has his ult again. Breathe doesn't have the flash. There is a Cataclysm coming up in a couple of seconds. Does he want to use it? Yeah, I think he does. Ult forwards. Let's get some stacks towards that Ahri. Give it over towards the Wei Jarvan instead. Kill on the top side. Tower taken. BLG. This is a little bit more like it. Opening up the map. Weibo. They're the ones which are now not catching out BLG. They have more kills, of course, but Weibo happily, well, not so happily, spreading out across the map now. Feels like they're more in danger. Mid lane turret gonna get taken by Weibo. Pew. Did she actually just say pew? Is that a thing what she says? Damn. Dragon now available. Dragon stacking's been very slow this game. Normally you'd expect another dragon to be taken in this time. And this would be the third, not the second. Weibo will go towards it anyway. 2 items towards Tian, who is still very, very strong. 2 items on the way for Wei, but still a little off it. Gold advantage still towards Weibo. BLG, you probably don't deserve to win with how you played this early game and the way how hard this draft is, but that is the nature of BLG. Sometimes they just win with complete criminal drafts because they're a much better team. T1 were known to do that in the past too. Gold lead now up to Gwen on the top side. He managed to take that out of turret, of course. Ahri almost up to the max Rod of Ages. Xiaohu the same. Both of them will be a level ahead of the game. Been trying to see if we can get good trades against the Aurora. Aurora can be a good matchup against the Gwen, actually. If she uses the W a little bit late, you lose a good bunch of your HP. I suppose it's only the Rod of Ages build. It's not the highest burst build, all things said and done. Xiaohu trying to clear out some vision. On. Oh, flashes forward. All comes through, but the root does first, and the charm comes after. They have next to no CC, but they use all their limited amount to get that kill. On, flashing forwards. Well played in the last couple of pick attempts from the Karma. Missed a lot of early Qs, but getting some extra value this time. Very hard to do so on the Karma. Xiaohu is well out of position, though. Should have ulted a little earlier. Chooses not to. Bin avoids the Magnet Storm this time, but still gets punted back. Here comes the Pantheon. And they will start to rain hell down on Bin. They'll go towards this top lane turret. Can they take the whole thing? Jace is a very good tower killer. Half the turret immediately gone. They'll give the solo goad over to Jace. Why not? Hypercharger again. Weibo find an advantage just as BLG find a pick on the other side. Ult again. Why is on here? Goes down, and just as he makes a great play, goes down, and Elk is so lucky to make it out alive. Ult back out. This is going to leave open an inhibitor turret. Just after a great play from On. Makes a disastrous to One by dying in the topside jungle. You are not tanky. You had just used flash. Light will take a turret, and Weibo explode the map. BLG, what have you done? You just had to play a little bit safe, protect your turrets. Teleport now in. Knight has to go make a play as the cooldowns are down and the HP bars are low. This is desperation, but this is what you're led to. Ult forwards, Light has himself flash, has barrier. Knight wants to try and predict it, can't do it. There comes the Cataclysm. Knight outplaying for now, but will it be enough? Here comes Tien, trying to get a turn around, and will look for it. Is there a reset? Yes, there is. Close enough, and the Q will claim it. Does he have enough now to deal with Jarvan? Wei misses the combo. Bin's up here now anyway. BLG, the right choice to pull that teleport and to look for a slap back while cooldowns were down and HP bars were low. BLG gets something back. But Elk overstays again. Goes a little too far. Go towards the honey fruit. Do they have the healing? No, they don't. The killer bunny rabbit sinks in the sharp, pointy teeth. And Xiaohu will make a murderer of himself. Weibo, how many turrets did they take? 2. You took the mid inner, the top inner, 3 rather, and then the mid inhibitor turret, top inhibitor turret as well. get a kill onto On, get another 2 onto Elk and Knight as well afterwards. BLG completely outclassed by Weibo and map play this game so far. I think Light showed great patience versus Knight's Ari there in the last play. Knight was trying to judge a flash away. Light knew that he had Tian around the corner. Knight very rarely loses those mind games, actually. It's the right play to make, by the way, when you're jumping onto an AD carry like that and you think you have excess damage, which you should do with Leandri's burn. You hold your charm as long as possible. Actually wonder if he could have shown even more patience, but it's just what the mindset BLG have got themselves into now. Has himself the 2 items, of course. The Leandri's the rower. Only the 1 Dark Seal stack, but hey, got that assist after he died. We'll take that. $30 seconds till Dragon. Be second for either team. Tenacity shield that. Oh, not gonna be able to stop this one. Bin running away from the play. Doesn't have Ghost, does have ult. Once again, Bin caught out in the side lane this game. Teleport coming through. Magnet Storm once again. Stun inside the mist. Breed comes down. Here comes On. Has a bit of healing, but can't save Bin. Bin's Gwen. Seen a lot better days. The Jin ult to try and split the team fight. The charm comes through, trying to get good damage through, and it will. Knight gets a reset. How much value can he get on his world-famous Ari? I don't think it's enough. Shield comes through, his Jarvan goes down. Elk has some damage in the replay. It looks like the team fight, rather, has been disengaged. Knight cleans up a little bit. Elk, double buffs. He might have something here too. 2 low health bars here around the corner, and here comes the fight. Good try pick onto On. Good damage onto Knight as well. He doesn't have flash this time, and El can't save it. Weibo play the smoke and mirrors and come out of the shadows to kill off BLG. There's a cleanse on Elk. I just don't know if it's enough. Yes, maybe it will be. Hops out of that W, and he'll start to get himself a bit of a reset. Another Mega Blast Cone. He'll hit a couple of Qs onto minions. He'll make himself out alive. But Weibo are toying with BLG. What has happened to the BLG that we love? Well, Weibo, the ones which was the thing which has happened to them in this series. Wonderful play from BLG, calling the bluff. So much more calm, so much more collected, understanding that they have the excess HP bars. Now Dragon will get started. 5,000 gold lead. Weibo just choosing fight so much better. Who is shot calling for BLG? Who is shot calling for them? Because they're making mistakes. A whole lot of them. Gotta say, Bin, caught out on side lane so much, is a huge reason why BLG have to play like this. They find themselves in 4v5s unexpectedly. And have to claw themselves back. And sadly, despite how well On has been flashing forward for some of these routes, despite how good Knight's Ari is, it's not saving everything, and I don't know whether it's saving Elk either. Has the cleanse, the root hits, but the Mega Blast Cone will get some value. If that was a regular Blast Cone, that Jin ult might have done something. Not bad. Light left by the rest of his shots in the air. A little frustratedly. Now, no globals. Bin can play into the side lane, now knowing there is no globals for him to be aware of. And be respectful of. And push up a little deeper, get a little more value. Wards on Dragon, on Baron rather. BLG have such a hard composition to play. They're squishy. They do have a lot of damage in some places, but they haven't reached those items just yet. Tian, out on the map again. Has a level lead, a full level lead over Wei. Tian stealing away some camps, potentially. Couple of Qs. Perhaps the clamp falls down. Throw it into Elk. That is important. The Shojin gives him the ability to hit 2 Qs, and his E is effectively back up. Oh, Bin. Bin. Empowered W. Yeah, W coming through from Bin. Decent damage. Goes into the E. Reminder, Tien didn't have to use an ultimate for that one. Gets the ultimate back up again. This is better, though, from BLG because Bin survives. Survives. They don't get to push in that wave after. And they'll take themselves in mid lane out of turret. Bin finally getting some value for his side lane presence. Stacks from Tien, of course, proc there as well. Not the longest cooldown, but it can sometimes be valuable. He's had an awesome game. This rel has been exceptional, by the way. This rel has been exceptional. So many Magnet Storms, so many picks onto Bin as he's overextended, roaming around the map. It is hard to play in a split map 1-3-1 as a new support coming in. Airhead's playing it well. I think this guy has been really good. Still had Seekers still. Look, if he uses Seekers there, he dies anyway, because he just stands in place, no one's coming to help him, and he dies anyway. That doesn't actually change anything there. And you really want to save that for a game-winning team fight as well. Well, I mean, not no matter here, but, yeah. Can BLG win? Karma, Asriel, Gwen late? Karma's not great late game. I mean, the thing is, BLG don't have CC for late game. I trust in Knight's Ahri. I don't love the... I really don't like the Seekers here, actually. It can be quite good to jump into a Pantheon and then get stasis onto his W, but I don't love it. I think that Knight should have gone more damage. I think he should have gone more damage. Trusting himself to carry. That's the thing about Knight. Knight is so good on this champion. So good in general. The rest of his teammates have been struggling. You get the damage yourself so you can carry. I would love to see a death cap here instead. See if you can one-shot. Get that charm on someone. Turn a fight for yourself. Shadow jumping forwards. Flash from Tien. Not able to get in range. So close to getting on top of Elk. Knight can jump over the walls. Manages to buy some cooldowns from Airhead. Cut Tien. Caught out as well. He has no flash, remember. And Bin comes in with the needlework. Maybe Tien's made the mistake now. He goes down. But on the other side, Gwen goes down too. Bin gets exploded. Who's going to body block for this now? Knight using his extra HP to try and save his teammates. Bin with a huge mistake. One of the worst series from Bin. And one of the worst splits from Bin I have seen in years. Weibo, so much more clutch, punishing so much more. You can see how BLG are floundering. Knight doesn't know what to do. Who does he have to body block for? Why should he be having to body block for them at this point? But that's what they've been reduced to. Weibo, 10 seconds till the dragon now. Trade 1 for 1, even though they lose Tien. They'll get themselves the dragon nonetheless. I have no idea how Bin died like that for free. That's the fight where you go stasis. That's the fight where you do it. Gets massively turned around or maybe misunderstanding the damage coming through from very bursty side of Weibo when they put everything on the same target. If you have a fourth shot, Jace, Pantheon, Aurora with the shotgun combo as well. Yeah, a lot of damage. Elk close towards his fourth item. Not going towards something like the Serildis, going towards the Bloodthirster instead. Gonna make some sense to get some of the poke from Weibo. Girl, how are they losing to Weibo? Weibo Gaming, consistently inconsistent. Welcome back, you beautiful, horrible team. Weibo Gaming, consistently inconsistent. Double ult from Wade. That's not bad, but then of course he gets stuck in the play too, has to flash out. What happens to Bin here? Throws out the needlework, gets stunned. Oh my god, the damage. I mean, there was a window where he could have Zonias, but it was a very slim one. I don't think it would have saved him actually either. Well, I don't know, probably not. No W afterwards. There's a GA for Wei now. That'll help for the next fight. 3 item Gwen. Full Zonias, of course, for Bin. I don't know. Weibo have the gold lead. Extra shield power and extra tenacity. The tenacity is really nasty for the Ahri, actually, where often to get your electrocute combo and your, backswing of your Q, you do need to make sure that they, don't have as much tenacity. Is there any Merc Treads as well? No. Okay. Yeah, that's good then. I suppose that's good for BLG for them. So if there was a Merc Treads and that, bit of a problem, isn't there? Yeah. I believe Karma can carry. I'm less certain of that one. Karma not the best late game support ever. Baron available. Are we calling Weibo in towards that objective pit? Using that fog of war. They have this vision control here. Needs to be careful. Here comes the combo. Crashes down out of it. Bin, going for the needlework? You're using the needlework for all... Okay, well, that's why. Ults on towards light, but there's no follow-up. All the damage goes towards air. You put all your damage into the rel, which meant you couldn't follow up on light. You do get that flash. That's important. But I feel like they should have walked away with a kill there. Instead, they walk away with a summoner. Nothing better than English person saying the worst thing in years. I can do it more. I can do it more Jeremy Clarkson like. The worst player in the world. That's too far. We did steal the fraud wall from him though. And the cool wall. Well, yeah. I don't get the needlework going onto air header. I don't get it. Very split calls. Fantastic game from him still. Look, I mean, he took a risky position there, but the fact that he escaped that initial combination, huge. That sidestep on the initial flag and drag, huge. Why go all in on Spork? Because it means that the Magnet Storm's not there for a big fight. Oh, Breathe. Bloody hell of damage. Flashes out of the needlework. Breathe. Lucky to be alive. But now Bin, oh Bin. It's happened again. Has the Recales, gets out safely, maybe that'll be enough. Here comes Wei, flashing forwards, Light has no summoners, and here comes the Ori, here come the resets! Knight gets one, he gets two, and he'll be able to finish off another as well! Finally, BLG come to life! A score of kills coming in for them, as Bin teleports mid lane, they want to turn this into a game win. 40 seconds on Breathe, Light, and Xiaohu. How have BLG done it after BLG have entered inside lanes, been picked off with a composition made of nuts and bolts? They have cobbled together a spaceship to fly towards the Nexus. Somehow BLG turn it around, and it is just Tien. 10 seconds on air. I don't think he can do it. It's not a bad E, but I don't think he'll have enough. The wave is cleared. Maybe I'm wrong. Tau goes down. The backdoor bonus comes off. CC from Airhead, not going to be enough. The Nexus will fall and we will have our 6-game day. How did BLG get away with it? Criminals. One of his best picks. Can punt people out of the fight. I think if you go for the Poppy, I just don't see how Weibo can ever stand and fight. They have 3 immobile carries. Their front line can get punted away. Yes, the Cassante can press W on the Poppy ult. Nocturne can fly into the backline, Cassinan can flank, someone gets isolated, and Jinx gets a reset. I think BLG, this might be their best draft of the series. In fact, it is. This is a very good draft for them. I think Weibo have struggled with quite a lot here. Is MF better than Xayah here? I mean, yes, to a certain extent. The MF can actually join you with the aggressive plays. It's more lane dominant than the Xayah, and you don't know what's left out for Elkin on there, so... I mean, yeah, I think Xayah obviously had some angles, but it's... Yeah, blind picking the MF is much more powerful in some ways. I was even wondering about that. Where are our Gyos? I love that someone in the crowd had Tien's artwork basically just recreated on a sign. It was the brand MVP vote. Basically someone said, draw your MVP vote. So he drew like, I think he drew a Lee Sin, I think he drew a brand, and it was so bad, like MS Paint drawing. They actually did still put it on a t-shirt and sell it as merch though. So you can actually get Tien's own hand-drawn merch somewhere. Very, very funny. Worth noting as well, you know, talking about Knight on the cast of him. Elcon Jinx is a real classic. Oh, Xiaohu, you gotta be careful here. Luckily, the Q misses. Nice starting with the E. Phase Rush now gonna wash off that slow anyway. Ward is gonna go down. I think if it hit that Q, with the extra move speed on it, if there was a slow coming through from the Force Pulse as well, might even been able to force the Flash, despite them having typically poor level 1s. Elcon Hyper Carries is a different beast compared to Elcon other stuff. I know a lot of people like his Ezreal. I know a lot of people like one of his other picks. I always thought Elk was a better player when he's playing hyper carries. His Aphelios, his Jinx, something special. He's always been very, very good at those. MSI 2023, think around that era, his Jinx. something incredible to behold. So we'll see whether he can relive those glory days here on the Jinx now. Always fun to see him on that champion. Knight good at peeling. Bin as well. Very good at kind of making sure his AD carries stay alive. Knight not getting the best. Well, he's going to collect this wave at tower now, and he'll be fine. Not getting that W level 2. Sometimes you do go for that. Makes it a little hard to farm out this now. It'll lose something under that tower. Losing a lot of cooldowns, though. Normally I want that W for the extra base attack damage. Basically on every auto. A lot of damage even on that first rank Q now. Ow. Guess level 3. It has Doran Shield as well. We'll be teleporting back very, very quickly on. Down 5 CS from the other levels. Still will get enough to get himself a tier, I think. 13 CS? That's on the border for it. I'm not sure about that, actually. Does he get it? Nah, no, he won't. Not with the refill pot. So he doesn't get the tier first back. Still, gets himself a couple of levels. Fully recharges in terms of his HP and mana. Back to lane. Better to teleport early rather than late, though. Caston and Conqueror? Yes. Caston tends to go towards that Conqueror. You do sometimes go for the fleet footwork, but it's been nerfed so much over time. Breed, great trade against... Bin, great trade against Breed. Cassante is not really a great champion anymore. Bin, very happy with how things are going now. Has the empowered ability available again. So just as it felt very fun to play in mid lane, fun to play in top lane too. There's a reason we don't see much Cassante nowadays in not in standard lanes. Ow! Great trade coming in from Tien. Wayne not going across mid lane. Wayne needs to be a little bit careful here, actually. No one's... Hang on. So bot lane is roaming, potentially. Tien. Raptors respawning. Do you want to fight this? I mean, On could come over. I think you can. If he stacks up Q, it's a little bit different. Smite steal from Wade. Does he want to go towards it? No. Wade Tien goes towards it instead. Needs to be careful of the wall stun. Ignite goes down. Goes over the wall. On doesn't go for the wall stun. I think there was an angle. Chose not to go towards it. But still, something coming out of that jungle situation, which was unexpected. Wei finally buys a little bit of pressure for Knight in mid lane. This is why we don't see the Caston, of course. His early lane is so ass. That being said, only 5 CS down, all things said and done. 6. But, you know, same difference. Her on the roam. No, not level 6 yet. Needs to be very careful getting frozen out as a Cassidum. See what Shao he's doing here? Making sure that the wave is away from the Cassidum. The wave will push back towards him. He'll get the tier now. Again, need to get that recall at some point. Cassidum never wants to be too far from his tower without ult. He just can't be there. If you actually manage to like freeze the wave away from the Cassidum, it's a big problem. Huge problem. So you trade hard, shove him in early. Make sure he doesn't have teleport, can't reset. Can't just hard shove, reset, and teleport back in. Not that he can hard shove very well as a Caston. But the real job of playing against a Caston is make sure they can't safely farm. Knight's actually gone towards bot side. Gets him out of the Orianna matchup. I mean, not that he wants to play against a Misfortune either. I don't know about this one, folks. Where's going to push back in towards him, I suppose. The Knight can't do anything. It's not level 6 yet. Lost a lot of XP. I really think the thing which hurt him the most was Tien coming across mid lane and Wayne not covering. That was the timer where the Lilia comes across that map, that part of the map, because it's the Raptor respawn, right? And now what's happening now is Elk and On have to go towards bot side anyway to make sure that this Caston is safe. The wave's not pushing in on the time in which they thought it would be, because they showed mid lane and they knew that Knight would then go towards bot lane instead. How much of this wave can you pick up? If he gets level 6 off it, it's fine. Okay. Most of it. Where's his level 6? How many waves? How many minions, rather? Gets level 6 off the end of that wave. Okay, now that's okay. That's fine now. He gets level 6. He can now walk up, force pulse, ult backwards. A little easier now. Dragon taken by Waver. Grows by BLG. Swirl Seed bowls right the way through that gap. 7-10 split between the walls. Gets the mana back onto it. I wonder whether Knight should have gone for that fleet footwork. But I suppose the Conqueror means you can actually chase down people like the Alistair and the Sensei so much easier. The extra stacks coming through. Extra damage. Also be able to stack that Conqueror on in team fights. Tien missing the bowling ball this time. Alright. Ultimate comes through from the Nocturne first to the game. This can cancel out by the Alistair, getting great pulverized through that. Lighthouse, the ultimate. Here comes the ult from the Lilia. But the Rift Walk saves a lot of that. The Jinx throws the ultimate too, but here comes Xiaohu. Split fight, not really sure about this one. Double shockwave as Knight flashes into it. Knight wants to kill Light before he can get the bullet time, but goes too far. Jinx out of the play. And BLG lose the early fight. Xiaohu outplays his Knight. A rare mistake from him. Getting caught out by the bullet time. Not by the shockwave just like that. Xiaohu roams down quicker. And BLG, another early game, which they've misplayed. Started with them not backing up Knight on this Castellan, leaving him in a 1v2 in mid lane. Then rotating around to lose him even more farm. And then taking an extra fight, which he wasn't ready for yet. Why are you playing around this game with this Castellan like this? Questions upon questions. Weibo, very well collapsed though. Even though they didn't need the bullet time in that, even though they didn't use the bullet time in that fight, they didn't need it. Not a great engage coming through from Wei. I don't understand that one myself. Knight ults out, so he's out of range of the bullet time. Ult comes down, does well, it does at least a little bit of damage towards Light here. What happened? What happens here? On goes for the E. Knight, just not a good flash, is it? I can sense the tilt from here. It's a bad flash. Big moment here. Big moment here for Weibo. Gets him a lot of gold in this early game, 1,000 gold ahead. Most of that's on mid lane. Now I will say, Xiaohu, one of the worst players in the LPL, playing from a lead in the mid lane position. He had a huge, like 20 stack Medjais or something like that the other day, Aurora game, and he lost all of them very, very quickly. 2 or 3 mistakes in a row. Was ready to carry, couldn't do so. Two kill Lilia. 2 kill Lilia. Tien is very happy, isn't he? So he's playing into quadruple melee as a Lilia. Needs to be careful of wall stuns. Needs to be careful of the Poppy ult punting him out of a fight, but On's not had the best game so far either. It's been fine, but not the best game. Second dress coming through. Oof. Make it rain bullet time to both. Gets half HP from L. Unassisted bullet time. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Like, not even got himself that bloodthirster just yet. We'll recall now. Got himself a safe trade. Get himself out of that lane and we'll reset. Knight went from 6 CS down to being 20 CS. It's because BLG kept rotating Elk to get the farm instead of Knight. Just before that level 6 mark, that player on the bot side lost him a lot of farm. Xiaohu picked it up instead. Elk picked some up. Light doesn't have flash, but doesn't walk up far enough for it to be a problem. Light goes down. Realistically, the farm which Knight is down is stuff which Elk has been picked up. And I just think in the early game, you need the Castellan to get to that level 6 a little quicker. Xiaohu checking through a couple of bushes with the ball. Will be spotted on the control ward. We'll know he's spotted, of course. What's the plan from BLG? You're not ready to fight yet. Swirl Seed lands onto Knight, takes a bit of damage. Shockwave misses. And you don't have the bullet time, remember. That being said, the double up does plenty of damage anyway. Oh, has that ult. Traps to put vision into the brush if nothing else. 3 ups to 3. As Waver picked up the top side just before that. Oh, double Swirl Seed. Why are they stacked like that? Nocturne comes through. On, burning down. And will die. The Leandry's in the passive, killing On. Nothing to save him there. Tien takes the kill. BLG, they just don't know how to play the early game, do they? The early games, their first 10 to 15 minutes have been poor. There's no two ways about it. Poor early games. Light, helping take down this dragon. That's 2 dragons to the side of Weibo. 3 kills on the Lilia. Lilia, one of the better champions against Caston in a lot of ways. Because he jumps at you. You can always pretty much hit him with a Q. Half into space out everything. That's a great swell seed. But also, why are they recalling there? There's no reason to. It's greedy. Swell seed hits. I think they're lucky to get away with 1 dead. Popult saves him from the Alistair combo afterwards. Do you remember where Xiaohu's career started? Where's he from? His teams? He was always on RNG. Started there in 2016. It was something very, very special. Went to MSI 2016. Solo killed Faker with the first Lucian mid game of the era. He really taught the world how to play Lucian mid. He was on Uzi's team and helped Uzi get an MSI win in 2018. Won a great many titles. Known as the Emperor of Spring is Xiaohu. He's won 3 MSI titles, the most of any player ever. A uniquely successful player in the World League of Legends for the spring season. He was on RNG up until 2023, joined Weibo when Weibo launched a super team. BLG were the team to take down that super team in spring 23 spring playoffs. And of course, Weibo knocked BLG out of Worlds in semi-finals to get towards that finals. Caught out. Does that flash? Bit of trouble now. Blows the ignite. Uses that. I suppose he has Nimbus Cloak for all of that. Oh, gets out with a flash. Nocturne's coming down it. Wait, what are you doing here? Wasting the ultimate. That's a huge overinvestment. Wei, a player with so many eyes and a microscope on him. It's found to be a little bit viral there. In the wrong way. A gasp from the crowd thinking, that's not a good moment. If they can tell it, we can too, can't we? Hexplate does mean that his ultimate is a lower cooldown, but you'd really like that one for something a bit more useful, wouldn't you? Good thing, Castellan is now free farming bot side. His 30 CS down. Needs to get something out of this, 1.2k behind. I was very surprised at this Castellan pick. BLG have not had the early game to enable such picks. And we can see that being a problem now. There's no... Hang on a second. Wave flashing forwards for the fear. Comes across. Flash a little bit late. Shockwave gets some kind of value, but there's a spell shield on top of it. Swellsy comes through. Nice teleported back as well. Red buff goes to Xiaohu. Bins pulled himself through with the ultimate. And BLG, you had just bought yourself the Cassidy a free wave to farm. Why are you fighting like that when the Cassidy needs farm in the bot lane? Weibo, make the right decision. Tien says, right, you want to be leaving this Cassidy in a bot lane. He's not going to teleport. He does anyway. Tien lives due to some mechanical plays. But the big thing is, Knight is not farming. He is a full level behind Xiaohu. Yes, he does have the Rod of Ages. We'll catch it up a little bit. But BLG, showing that they do not understand how to play around this Cassidy pick. Very strange decision making. Very strange decision making indeed. Care played it well last week. He has been more of a Cassidy picker, weirdly. Played a lot back in 2023 as well. One of my very first games that I cast in the LPL was Care getting a pentakill, quadrikill rather, on the Cassidy. I've cast a lot of good LPL games, folks. It's been a real blessing to be part of the fabric of the LPL history now. I think a lot of people who watch LPL have heard my voice at some point. I guess most people watch, you know, I'll Dominate or Cadril instead, but if people actually watch the main broadcast and the co-streamers actually had the volume up, maybe they heard me as well. Hard to tell sometimes. Sometimes the co-streamers turn off the mainstream. Of course, we don't have that main broadcast now, which is sad, all things said and done. Xiaohu. Altering up this turret, getting some good damage. Phase Rush activated. Soaks the tower shot with the E. Always prefer the main broadcast? Well, I enjoyed it too, and I'm glad that you enjoyed it as well. So my most fun casting LGL. Casting Sengoku versus Burning Core, the worst game I've ever cast in my life. It was incredible, entertaining. We played Hangman, it was wonderful. Probably. Also, the last finals that we did as well was very, very sweet. Kind of like saying goodbye to 3 years of work that we did on that. Was it 3? 2.5. It was a lot. So guys, thank you, Insane. I appreciate it. Thank you, Meow. Very kind of you. I miss casting with Munchables. I miss hanging out with Lyric. I miss well, I get to cast with Hysterics still. We were reminiscing, Dagda, Hysterics and I, about some LPL stuff the other day. Some of the stuff that happened in the LPL broadcast was crazy, folks. Like, there's some stuff which will probably never see the light of day, which... well, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, it's, a lot of strange stuff happened around that. Right, Knight has that Rod of Ages, has himself Lost Chapters, has a bit of cooldown reduction now. Yuntal for Elk. Dragon started up. Sold point for Weibo if they get it, but there's no contest coming from BLG. 3k down. Weibo, I mean, Tian's had a hell of a series. No, there isn't Blue Tail. I do mention this every so often. It's not a dig anthem, of course, no. LPL English, which is also live on Twitch right now. Hang on a second, what's happening here? Ooh, not coming through. That is an unpaid broadcast ran by fans, and they're doing a great job and it's wonderful, but it's also not the official broadcast. People are not getting paid to do the LPL, and that's the thing which I take issue with. There should be a paid, professional, official broadcast. LPL English is doing a great job, but they deserve to be paid for what they're doing, and sadly they're not. So it's not an official broadcast, and that's why only, you know, there aren't many of the original people involved in LPL involved in that stream, because it's not a job anymore, it's a hobby, right? Didn't I cast LEC yesterday? Yes, I did. I'm also involved with LEC. But I'm also sad that I don't get to cast LPL, like, professionally anymore, you know? It was a very special thing, being part of that, and being given the authority to talk about a region so historic with so many players like this. Soul point for Weibo. BLG on the brink. 3k down. It's not a happy place for them. Gold slightly decreased. Hang on a second. That's a Orianna with flash. There's an Alistar behind them. Poppy throws the ult. Shockwave's going. Wei can die here. Wei can die. Is he going to use the flash? I mean, it comes through with the Mikhails, but Wei, his ultimates have been trashed so far. They've not achieved anything which they wanted to do. Tian has flash. Elk's probably going to die here too. Swellseed misses. Light's going to come forwards. He had the bullet time on top of him. Teleport coming through. They can't kill a turret in time, so Elk lucky to live. Tian maybe could have flashed forward. Elk choosing the right retreat path. Knight getting more farm in a side lane. Any wave you can catch, obviously very, very huge for, I say, they need as many waves in this casting as possible. Is he going to be ready to fight in 3 minutes time for the Soul Dragon? We shall see. 1,000 gold lead for the Renekton will help, I suppose, a little bit, but Renekton's getting very much towards the end of his power spike now. $1.5k gold lead in the jungle, that's hard to play against. You have a Mikhails and the Poppy, that'll help a little bit in terms of Lily asleep. I don't see how BLG wins this. Weibo mess up and they allow Renekton and Castellan onto the backline. A reset comes through and Jinxcat cleans up the rest of the fight. You do have level 12 Castellan. He does have himself Seraphs. The 2 item spike is good. Like, as it stands right now, Knight... that's a pretty big bullet time. Half HP down. Tao's going to go down with it. I think. Yeah, there we go. Knight is on vision. Needs to be a little careful there. Doesn't ult himself out. Does now. Safe. Xiaohu takes down a top lane turret. Now that's important. Get some gold onto him. 1 turret to 3. Aragon was so disgusted by game 2, he closed the stream and went to sleep. I mean, has he never seen Weibo play League of Legends before? I feel like if you're watching Weibo, you have to understand, like, there's at least a threat of this happening. There's, like, at least a threat. Weibo, consistently inconsistent. Occasionally wonderful. Occasionally something very, very special in the negative direction. Like, look, game 2, there's no way BLG should have won it. There's only Weibo could lose that game and only BLG could win it. Like, there are some things which are just not okay within League of Legends. Dragon spawning in 30 seconds. BLG waiting until Knight can get, well, if Knight can get himself the Rod of Ages stack as well, which he does now, he ticks over to level 14. Gets him that extra level. Level up on Xiaohu now. He will, of course, be able to get a little bit more. Wait, doesn't get himself Guardian Angel. If he'd got that for this fight, would have been absolutely crucial. Atkan is available. You're discounting the other coin flip team. IG, true. IG are also a team which do wonderful and awful things. JDG up there too. But Weibo have been doing it longer than IG in this current era of LPL. Tien starts the dragon. Knight killing the tower. You're not giving Mountain Soul for this, surely. Teleporting in now. Takes the turret. And tries to play the best of both worlds. Going down to 2/3 HP. Here comes the Popule. Here comes the Nocturnal as well. On. It cancels the channel. Dragon. Still on half HP. This would be Soul for Weibo. Wei has no ult now. Needs to flash. Needs a good smite key. Still bullet time available. BLG fighting down a single angle. That's a problem. Air can hold the front line. Here comes Poppy. And away goes the Lilia. Is it enough? Is it enough? The Dragon's stolen by Knight! The Kassadin steals the Soul Dragon, but at what cost? 2 down already. Maybe a third. Knight will try and hopscotch and gets out for now. Can he escape the full time? The Make It Rain will come through. Has a little bit of cooldown reduction. The bowling ball will miss. Knight has gotten away with larceny and murder. Steals the dragon, gets out alive. Knight, how does he do it? I have no idea how he did it. Now, Atkan will go down. That'll last Weibo over to the Baron spawn. Of course, while this happens too, BLG did lose kills in that fight. They lost the fight. But BLG get themselves a Mountain Dragon and will stop the Soul coming through. Important wins for BLG. And it keeps the timer ticking. This is a single action direction team fight. How the hell On gets that ult through the fight is ridiculous to me. Absolutely ridiculous. Bullet time starts shredding the dragon down. Knight eyes on the prize, gets that and gets out. How the heck does that happen? It's not even a smite that does it. Wei dies too quickly. The alley-oop here is absolutely exceptional too. Oh, Knight. How did he manage it? If BLG win this series off of a ridiculous comeback, 6k swing in a minute in game 2 into a Kassadin Baron steal. A Dragon steal, rather. I don't know. I will be speechless, folks. I will be speechless. Tien. Going towards top side. Baron available. They have the GAs available from the voracious Atkan. Up for another minute and a half. Can they use it to do anything, though? Skullcrab gets them vision on top side. Kassadin, level 15. That's one level closer towards that level 16 mark. As the Seekers. And now goes Seekers onto the Bullet Time. Onto the Lilting Lullaby as well. And of course, the Shockwave. 3 big ultimates you can deny, potentially, with that. This game has been, sure something. Now, getting towards level 16 is actually quite difficult, folks. It's a lot of XP. Still probably will take him about 5 minutes to get to him, honestly. Well, not 5 minutes. It'll take him a couple of minutes to get to it. Trying to keep some presence around topside. If they have no vision, it becomes a bit of a problem. That's actually Baron getting started up. Wait, has GA, could fly into the pit. I don't know if you can steal another objective like this. Knight has to walk over to see what happens. I think they see it now. Puts a ward over. Air has spotted as well. Elk hasn't really got himself a reset this game either. Tornado's Jinx being in power important. Not really getting much done here. The Renekton similarly not really achieving much so far in this game. Shockwave flashed away from. Flash down, but important cooldown missing now for Weibo. Bin getting jumped on again. Tien, does he walk forward even further? He has himself Seekers too. He can go even further. He has the flash. He goes onto the bot lane of BLG. How much can BLG do to disengage? Another cooldown used. Tien using that flash, using that ultimate, no shockwave. I think Weibo came away from that with a lot less than they expected. Elk has 2.5 items. Doesn't have an Infinity Edge, but does have a lot of ability to damage that Cassandra if he starts railing on him. With Lord Dominic's regards, I do say that. I mean, he doesn't have any lifesteal, so it does feel a little bit scary to do that too. And Knight is halfway to level 16. Another play. I could have maybe ended the game for Weibo. Instead, leaves the timer ticking ever onwards. I cannot believe we're in a position where BLG might be able to clutch out another late game, but that is, that's BLG for you. Again, 2/3 now. That's why we're hovering over him so much. Can he get the waves he needs without Weibo focusing on him? A little bit hard to believe. Doesn't have safe vision. Look how he's playing around this fog of war. He knows that Tribrush, they could all be walking through Tribrush. He just doesn't know. He just doesn't know. He doesn't have that safety net right now. That's the wave ping-pong into him. Safe for now. Dragon now spawning in a minute. Can he get that level 16? He's one wave off. He needs one camp. One more wave. Dragon in 30 seconds. He'll get level 16 off the top wave if Breathe lets him. We'll see whether he does. We'll see whether he does. Is that level 16 enough to actually win? That's another question too, isn't it? He'll get it now. Level 16 casted him. The time is now. What have you got for us, knights? Where's your lance and mighty steed? The crowd see the level 16. They hear it too. And he's ready to roll. He'll recall. Comes back in. Has some gold to spend. Has himself a nearly large rod. BLG turn up to fight for another soul dragon. How much can Knight do? Has his flash back up. Dragon started. BLG forced out of the river. Getting burst down. Do they have vision on it? No, they don't. I don't know. They might be letting this go over. There it goes. All right. You can use that Nocturne ult. There you go. Knight coming in. Going in. Where is the smite? It's going down to an Oriana gets it this time. Both mid laners claiming what they can. Knight taken out of the pit, but the fight is going to BLG. Resets for the Jinx, but is it enough? Elk is trying his best. The flash is out of the pit. They're almost enough to save the fight. I don't know if it is. Another reset comes through. Tien has himself the ultimate, and there's no cleanse. This time Xiao who flashes forward. Where is Knight? He has that level 16, but does he have the mana? I don't think he does. And BLG, despite getting the resets and the level 16 on the Cassin, it is not enough. BLG lose the soul and they lose the fight. Knight will return to base. He'll get himself a Zhonya's maybe off that fight. No, he can't afford it. And Baron's now up on the table. Elk, you would have thought with that reset, maybe it would have been enough. No, not this time. Tien ruling the day on that Lilia. 5-0-3. Xiao flashing over the wall. This mid-jungle from Weibo putting in so much work. And sadly on the other side, Wei has been catastrophically poor in this game on the Nocturne, achieving so little. The Baron will go to Weibo. And BLG left wondering if their time bomb had any powder or any explosive left in the charge. Knight got himself into the play. Great popular again. Onash getting a lot of value there. Breathe carries Knight out, but a good stopwatch and a... I don't know. Probably shouldn't have jumped onto the Cassandra there either. Just wanted to get into the play. Oh, Elk. Felt like Elk could have done a lot here. Bin's outlived his usefulness too as the Renekton. I think Breathe has had largely a much better series than Bin in this one so far. Both carries caught by a Swell Seed too. That's almost unacceptable in this kind of fight. Okay, as we get into our next fights. Elk, a lot of damage there. Knight not actually able to do that much. Breathe really made it his task to make sure that Knight couldn't get all of the value down. A 17,000 gold lead to Weibo, a Mountain Soul, but they are against late game Cassidon, late game Jinx, who, well, does have 3 items, but doesn't have himself that much in terms of the Infinity Edge value, which is a bit of a problem. Knight on top side will spot out Tien. This is a fed Lilia. Has flash too. 4,000 gold lead down in the jungle. Ridiculous. Guardian Angel down for Wei 2. You're not protecting this turret. This one's gone. No cross map either. Way on the flank. I don't know, man. I just don't think this... I don't think the Nocturne ult is going to do much. Nocturne is basically a vision denial bot at this point. Have they gone too far, though? Renekton on a long flank. Knight on one side. Airho going to try and close the door. Bullet time, hard to pull off from this kind of angle. Here comes the Orianna, and there goes the front line. Here comes the Renekton. This might be the fight that they've been looking for, but it's the Nocturne that goes down first, and the shockwave is brilliant. The bullet time also gets value, and the resets just never come. BLG have been wiped by Weibo, and Weibo will put BLG down to a negative record of 4 and 5. Weibo Gaming consistently inconsistent, on top, 5 and 4 in Group Ascend.